Yes, absolutely. I am an habitual hater of AD. He can kick rocks.
He won you a ring.
Down some stairs.
This is called NBA privilege. That's all it is.
Bullshit.
Yeah, like who is this person? Do you hear this?
Does not count.
It does count.
Nah.
You were in the Western Conference Finals.
Nah.
That doesn't matter to him.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's like,
Bubble chip doesn't count.
Bubble chip
last year,
counts.
you know what? They overachieved last year. I was very surprised.
I'm not going to tell you. You're not going to like hearing this, but they would have won it with or without the bubble. They were the better team that year. They were going to win.
Without the bubble, they wouldn't have gone. They wouldn't have gone, period. They just wouldn't have. The only reason they went was because the bubble and they could keep everything. Everybody was upset. Everybody was off their game. We just happened to have enough role players to make it happen.
Nobody touched them. They steamrolled Miami.
Yeah. Sorry.
Look, John 32. This conversation has been going on for like 10 minutes before we even started the show. Like, what are we doing? Just start.
Yeah, we joined the call together and just started scrapping about basketball as we listened to Dev talk about the glory days of when the Lakers sucked, but they were building.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't say anything about them being glory days.
Look at him. He's like, first of all.
Yeah.
I never said that. I liked our young talent, and I wanted to see what would have happened if they would have stayed together. I didn't say
we've seen what would have happened. Lonzo's career would have went down. And you talk about somebody getting hurt all the damn time. Lonzo hadn't played in 3 years.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
He's like, AD's hurt all the time. At least he registered stats
Very
last
unfortunate
year.
what happened to Lonzo. Very unfortunate what happened to Lonzo.
Now, Ingram turned out to be pretty great.
Fuck AD. Yeah, he did.
Who's the other guy? Hart? Hart is just a dude. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. But sometimes
people thought
just
way more of him back when he was a prospect, and then he actually went out and he's been traded, a half dozen times?
Yeah, I've never thought of him as like the guy. I thought of him as just like
no, I know that, but I remember when he was a prospect on the Lakers, they were talking about like he was going to be like one of the top 10 like 3-point shooters. He's supposed to be a sharp. Like he's not even that guy. Like he's completely different as a prospect. He's more of a defender, a tough player.
Yeah,
he can stretch the floor, but not like at volume. I like him. I don't dislike Josh Hart. He's a good role player, but that's all he is just a role player.
That's all. Yeah, I've always seen him as just a role player.
But I remember when they traded for him,
it was on Utah.
People were like, "Oh, they got Josh Hart."
Like, see, I'm not in those circles. I don't.
Because he went to what? NOLA, Portland. Is he in New York now?
Possibly.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Hey, Donnie. Everybody's talking about how great the hat is, man. You got to let them know where to get the hat from.
Oh, you
can't get the hat.
Well, y'all fucked up.
Premium merch, man.
You should have supported when you had the chance.
I didn't even realize I had it on, to be honest with you. I just got back. I had to take my daughter, dropped off at her friend's house to spend the night. So I was out in the car, and I took the Roadrunner out, and I don't like driving it at night at all. Nope, not even a little bit. I'm not going to do that again.
That makes sense.
It's like first time I've probably taken it out at night, maybe ever. I think I've driven at night once before. But for some odd reason, there's like way too many people out there right now. Traffic everywhere.
Oh.
And when you drive an old car and it's dark and you're coming up at like a 4-way and you don't know if that car is about to turn out in front of you or not, and you can't really see the car, like it makes me a little anxious. I'm like, because you can't stop. Like I can't stop like I can in a normal car.
Yes.
So anyway,
don't talk about cars. Braking system.
I live in a large city. Everything is lit the fuck up. There's no not seeing anything. It's all lit up. I'm going to see at a 4-way. I see everything.
Yeah, no, we just headlights. We just see headlights.
In the sticks. Yeah,
just headlights.
I hate driving to Georgia at night.
It makes me very anxious. And also the road that my wife told me to go down was like this road that's perpetually under maintenance. So like half of it's blocked off by cones and it's like half paved and it's all rough and everything. And so there's like a stop like every 500 feet. So I can't really get the car above like second gear. There's like a line of cars. I'm driving stop and go and stuff. I just hated it. I hated it. It was a terrible drive. I was like, I never want to do this ever again.
That does not sound like fun in any way, shape, or form.
It was not fun. Delvin. How you feeling, buddy?
It's been a week.
Can y'all hear Delvin? Just
can you hear him? Turn his headphones up.
Can you hear him?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Is he breathing? Can you hear him breathing? Like,
Can
that's
you
the other
hear
question.
mouth noises?
Can you hear his
all
mouth
these
noises? His mouth breather.
Good Lord.
I was
It's a fucking
very
ASMR show
upset.
every week.
PSVG. Welcome to the show.
Welcome
It'd
to
be
the
okay
dulcet
if it was
sounds of
that, but it was more
PSVG in the
like-
morning.
That's what it was.
So,
it wasn't.
What are you
even-
guys going to do without Dame? You have no Dame. You guys have lost Struce. Was it Vincent? Who else left?
Everybody know.
Lots of people
Yeah,
left.
know what they're gonna do? They're gonna apologize to Tyler Hero. Keep it moving.
I was just about to ask, because like, is he happy to come back?
My bad.
Listen, Tyler.
Oops.
You were never on the block. You were never going to get traded.
Ignore the Sports Center articles that kept saying that you were on the block.
They tried so damn hard to trade him. So you guys got Josh Richardson. I forgot you signed him. You
I don't
still have
even
Kevin
know
Love.
who the hell these people are on this roster. Who the
Some of
fuck
them I
is
don't know.
Jamal Cain.
Who is Jamare Booyah?
Who is Drew Smith?
I don't see a Drew Smith. Is that a player?
Yeah.
Who is
All the way
Caleb
at the bottom.
Daniels?
Yeah. Who the hell is that?
I know Thomas
Make a
Bryant
change.
is.
Cheek Diallo?
Caleb Daniels,
Cheeks.
that's not real. No way that's fucking real. No way that's a real name.
Yep. CH.
Yeah, no, Cheek Diallo.
Cheek Diallo. Kid you not.
You guys have RJ
Fuck is that
Hampton?
guy?
How many teams has he been on?
All of them.
Yeah, hasn't he?
Like every
How is he
team.
only
Like
24?
every team.
I feel like RJ Hampton's got to be at least 29. I've been hearing about this kid forever.
I have no idea who he is.
Oh, RJ Hampton was a player in college, and he was supposed to be like a top star. He was going to be the man, and he is not.
Yeah. Until you get to the league, I don't even want to know your name.
You guys have Haywood Highsmith.
Who the fuck is that?
It's like two NBA 2K players from like 2008 took a Brendan Haywood and fucking smashed them together another player.
Like a creative
Alonzo
player name.
Highsmith, you just put together. It's like, I got Haywood Highsmith.
Your rival in the association.
Terrible. Terrible.
Oh God. I hate to be the one to dance on your grave, Delvin, but I'm so happy that the Heat did not get him. So
I'm aware.
happy. So happy.
Only thing you can do is just laugh at it. That's all. Like whatever. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's because he of how he demanded the trade. It's nothing against Miami. If Miami
It's the way
gave
he
them
did it.
everything they should have given them for him, I would have been totally fine with it. By all accounts, they weren't interested in any of that. They were like, "We're not doing that. We're going to give you Tyler Hero and a pick." I would have told them to go pump sand. Like, get the hell out of here.
You've been correct.
Go kick rocks. Fuck out of here with that. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that decision. Like, hey, they didn't offer enough. They didn't have enough.
RJ Hampton got drafted in the first round by the Bucks. He then played for the New Zealand Breakers, the Denver Nuggets, the Orlando Magic, the Lakeland Magic, and the Detroit Pistons before finding his way to the Miami Heat this season. And he's 24. This man's played on 6 different teams in like his rookie contract.
That ain't a good. That's not a good sign.
He can score though. Watch
Can
him
he?
go average 20 a game for fucking Heat, and I'd be mad again. Like, God damn.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to.
That's kind of how the Heat be working.
That's what they
sometimes.
do. Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
get
what they
these
do.
players, And you like, this guy ain't gonna be shit. Next thing you know, he's averaging like 20 points and 5 boards. You're like, oh, okay, not bad. Then he goes somewhere else. He's back to being shit. So like,
Yeah.
I guess this is the game.
So maybe they'll get Drew Holiday. I think it's a great fit for Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is a Miami Heat kind of fucking player. I would trade Tyler Hero for Drew Holiday in a heartbeat. I don't know if Portland's interested or whatever, but I would.
I think Portland
Yeah,
is just on that
that's
fuck
the
you
thing.
Miami train. They're not
They don't
gonna
want
get him
Tyler.
no way, shape, or form.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're right. I think the GM made it very clear. He's like, I'm not trading him to Miami because Dame's agent told me we can only trade to Miami, it felt like it was personal. At that point, he's like, no.
Yeah.
At that
Now
point,
we're not doing any
I
of
took
that.
that personal.
Yeah. He was like,
Dame's
I'll
agent
trade him
dropped the
for a
ball on
can
that
of
one.
tuna before he suits up for the Heat next season.
Exactly.
I was actually wondering if there'd be some team out there that would be sly, try to get Dame on the cheap, and then flip Dame to the Heat. Right? Like
That
if
would have
you're
been a bad idea.
like if you're Utah or the Thunder and you have all of those picks, like I'll give you 3 firsts for a Dame, and then just go to Miami and be like, now we want all that stuff.
Yeah. That would have made sense. That would have been smart.
Yeah. For our listeners in the video game space, they're wondering what the hell's going on. We're talking about basketball, as we do sometimes. As
Yeah.
Damian Lillard was traded from the Portland Trailblazers, where he's played the last 15 years.
His entire career.
He's been there a long time.
Entire crew.
I honestly can't even
Don't worry, this
remember.
video game.
I can't
Talk
remember like what Portland was doing before Dame got to him. It's like the 90s
Yeah,
Brandon
Portland.
Roy.
And
Brandon
then,
Roy
yeah,
is what they were
it's
doing.
Brandon Roy. And then there was like some
Yeah.
years and then Dame Lillard.
Just imagine people that we're talking about NBA 2K.
That's true.
Just
Yeah,
don't worry
it's
about
fantasy league.
it. Yeah. It's NBA 2K. So it's video
Yeah.
game talk. Yeah.
But the moment he tried to, I hate this slippery slope that the NBA has been treading, where these players just assume that like, I'll get the contract that I exactly want, and I will make a team trade me exactly to where I want to be all
Yeah,
the
I hate
time.
that shit.
I hate it. I hate it.
Hate it with
Well,
a passion.
So
Well,
You
I-
signed
clearly-
a contract. You play through your contract.
like if you're in the last year of your contract and somebody wants to trade for you and you're like, I'm not signing with you, totally fair. That's fine. You're being honest at that point. But you
Mhm.
trade for me, but I'm not staying. Like I'm out of here. That's fine. If you want to wield some influence and power that way, I think that's totally fair. Dame is under contract for 4 more seasons.
Right.
He won't hit free agency until like 2027. Like you
Until
have
he's too old to even pay
zero
attention.
say in the matter, Dan. You cannot force your way to Miami, especially for Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. And like, nobody even wants those players.
I will say
Not even the
this.
Heat.
You got to try. You got to try.
No, you're right
What are you
there.
talking about? What are you
See,
talking about? Of course we want them.
I think
don't.
if the Heat tried,
Damn.
see, I think if the Heat looked at the situation and they're like, we're going to make this as good as we can, Portland, I think they would have got him. But everything I kept reading was that they were like lowballing them. They were like, essentially the Heat's idea was, we're going to get them anyway, so we're going to wait them out. It seemed like that was the
Exactly.
Heat's plan, and that was the wrong plan. That was the wrong plan to have.
That's
Just
exactly what their
stupid.
plan was.
Woj said that-
because
Go ahead.
we know he wants to come here, so
Right.
he's going to end up coming here
Yep.
one way or
Nope.
another. And they were like, "Nope. Well, guess you're not getting them." Good on Portland.
Yeah.
Can't be
Yeah. No,
mad.
I agree. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had all the
Apparently, he
power.
Woj said they didn't even call Miami today. They didn't even
mean,
talk
why
to
would you?
Miami.
No,
That they
Why?
were like, it literally was out of sight, out of mind. They were like, we're doing this deal. They're like, do you want to call Miami, see if we can get more? They were like, no. we don't
What?
care.
Fuck 'em.
Nope.
Yeah.
They know they're not going to. They're like, you're not going to top this. You're not even going to try to. So we don't care.
And it's interesting
Not
because
gonna waste our time.
it feels like Miami's whole offseason was waiting on this. Like their roster, like they didn't do
It was.
anything. Like they didn't even like try to
This
rebuild. They just sat and were like, we'll wait to get Dame and then we'll go and get role players. They did
This
nothing.
was the move.
Yeah.
This was the move. Getting Dame. And it was just, and once, like I said, once it started taking this long for it to happen, I'm like, I don't think this is going to happen. Then
Did
they
you
were like,
really think that?
Dame, yeah.
Because I've heard
But
you
they were
say a
making-
lot of
they were
things about
saying
your
something-
Heat. You seem to be very like risk averse.
I thought they were at first. Until the report came out. Like they were saying something like, if Dame shows up to Trailblazers training camp, it's a done deal. He's not going to Miami.
Oh, I
He
didn't
shows
think
up to
you.
Heat training camp. I'm like, that's not a. I'm
Why
like, that's
would
not a
you
story.
bet on that?
That's
Pat
telling me
Riley
that's
is
not a-
better than this. What the hell?
I don't think Portland was ever going to have Dame show up to camp.
Yeah,
You can't have
because
Dame
the whole report was
taking his anger out on your new rookie in practice. He's just bearing down on Scoot.
because
I would.
the whole
I would. I absolutely would
the
have
whole
that. Let's
report
go.
was the whole report that I heard was like either Dame's gonna show up at Blazers practice or Heat practice, but the trade's gonna get done soon, and it might not be to Miami. Like, all right. And then when I saw Toronto,
I thought it was Toronto. I thought it was Toronto. Only because
like, he's not going to.
Apparently, the reason it wasn't Toronto is they didn't want to give up Anunoby, which I understand. I thought they would give up Siakam, and I think that was probably the offer. They've been shopping Siakam. That's like a kind of a known secret that they've been looking to trade him. He wants out. Like he's leaving. So I thought that made some sense. Plus, like with Siakam there, I don't know if Scotty Barnes can ever like take a leap forward. Like he's kind of in the way. Those are Scotty Barnes' touches. It's kind of his position. Like he needs that space to operate. I don't think you can play them both together. I mean, you can, and it's effective on defense. But like, I don't know how much he'll grow as a player with this all-star guy kind of doing what he does. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
so I thought they would try to trade Siakam and their other rookies and stuff, and I bet that was probably the offer. Because Dame, OG, and Scotty Barnes is the hell of a trio. What do you guys think about Milwaukee, though?
Fuck Milwaukee.
Giannis and Dame, man.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's a great lineup. It's good.
Do you think Giannis resigns? Because that's the only way this unravels if he still tries to leave.
I think he will. I think he will resign.
I think he'll at least do like
depends on how well they do.
You think if this
dependent? Pairing works? Yeah, I think it depends on if the pairing works. I'm not convinced that the pairing works.
Why? If I can
I just look at their games and I'm just like, I don't know that they complement one another. I feel like they're both very ball dependent shit. At some points, Giannis is basically the point guard, which I just feel like that's just a weird.
I think that's because, and that maybe I'm wrong. I've always thought that that's because he has to be.
I was going to say that exact same thing because he has no choice.
Drew Holiday.
Yeah, but Drew Holiday is not that on offense. He's a great defender.
He can bring the ball down and run an offense. Like it doesn't have to be Giannis. Like it just, I don't know.
I think
I'm very skeptical of this pairing working.
If I had to make a prediction, I would bet that I think Giannis probably does like a 1-1 or a 2+1. Maybe he resigns. He does like the LeBron route. He resigns for 2 and then has an option. And he gives it like a good try because they've got a good team. They still have Chris Middleton. They still have Brook Lopez, right? Mm-hmm. Don't they still have him? Then they re-sign him?
Yeah, they got
Bobby Portis is just in the Olympics.
That's
like
not Brook, it's Robin Lopez, isn't it?
No. Brook's the one, the good one.
They have both.
Well, Robin, right. I think that was a part of them re-signing Brook was that he told them that they had to bring his brother in. Yeah. But Brook's the only good one. Robin Lopez hasn't been good in some time.
So Bob,
that is correct.
But I think if Dame can acclimate, I think Giannis could be a monster in the post. Like he could really start to rove and play like a big man role, as opposed to having.
I would like to see that happen. Go get your big ass down there on the post.
Yeah. Could you imagine a 2-man game with him and Dame? Ooh, that's pretty nice.
If he does that, if he actually will get his big ass on the post and stop shooting threes and shit, get out of my area. Get your ass on the block where you belong.
We've never seen Dame as an off-ball guy, right? Even with CJ.
No.
Yeah, he didn't really go off-ball a whole lot. It was kind of like he'd take a break, maybe sit in the corner, but he wouldn't actually run screens or anything. Yeah.
Nope.
They're going to lose a lot on defense.
If he's not getting the ball, like, yeah, exactly. Like
they are going to lose a lot on defense. Drew Holiday, you don't remove Drew Holiday out of any defense and don't take a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So that point of attack is going to be interesting. Anyway.
I hope they all get bench splinters and hurt themselves. It's fuck Milwaukee. It's Lakers all day. Everybody else kick rocks. I hope they all get hurt.
All right. Are you ready to start the show?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Welcome, Internet, to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dat Ninja Dev, joined as always by my main man, Donnie Eat the Hype Reese.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. The witch is dead. I'm so happy tonight, guys.
And Delvin Mouth Noises Cox.
What that mouth do?
What that mouth do, Delvin? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Oh, this is gonna be a great episode.
Oh boy. And this is where we're at. This is where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in case you just
we started like 20 minutes
us,
ago.
Yeah, we started 20 minutes ago, and then we just kind of rolled into the actual
pre-show
start of the episode. You can get a little pre-show action for those of you that showed up to the live stream early. But now let's get into it proper. Hopefully, Delvin's mic doesn't sound like he's licking your face because it sounded like that last week. Hopefully, we remedied the situation.
Yes, I know some people are into that shit, but you know, not for this show. I'll do a separate show for y'all. Y'all sign up to my OnlyFans and pay $5 and I'll lick your face. There you The PSVG OnlyFans.
No, not PSVG. This is your own shit. We don't even want to be associated with that nonsense.
Dev, come get in on this money. Come lick some face with me, Dev.
I'm good. I'm good.
Wow.
No, thank you, sir.
Look, how much y'all gonna pay for that hat Donnie got on? Everybody want it.
Yeah, that's the real
sweet
question.
hat. Sweet hat. Inspired by Josh.
Yep.
I wear this hat often, actually, when I go out. I've had people recognize it on occasion, but thanks to Mox for his love and passion poured into the PSVG logo. Yeah. I love it quite a bit.
Great logo.
I meant to buy one and completely
Top 5 logo.
Yeah, and the hats that we had printed are actually really nice hats.
Yeah.
You know, like their Port Authority, the stretchy band and stuff. It's a nice hat.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right. So let's just jump right into it.
I agree, Sean Capri.
What's up, man?
Oh, stop it. Stop it, Sean.
I tell Dev all the time he's like the hottest member of PSVG.
Oh, that's
and
for
he's
sure.
Just like, stop it.
Even with Rebecca included.
It's him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah.
Rebecca, then the rest of us.
Rebecca's a distant second.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Has all this lustrous hair and shit. Looks like the soul.
He's got the hair out, beautiful smile, eyes light up and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so nobody realizes but me, he's such an asshole. It's just like you're all just staring at the... Yeah, they're not even listening to him anymore. They're like, man, he's so dreamy, though. It's like a Barbie effect he has on people.
But it's like I'm a lovable asshole. That's what it is. I'm a lovable asshole.
Are you, though?
Absolutely.
No,
you love me.
Not at all. Dev is the Tyler Perry bad guy. Like
I accept you. I don't love you for it, but I accept you for it.
See, Dev knows exactly what I'm talking about. Every Tyler Perry movie has that angry black guy that just hurts the woman's feelings. That Dev is the Tyler Perry bad guy.
That's what I am. I'm just the oh man. Damn. All right, whatever.
That the girl
Dev started this morning.
She like falls in a bat.
Yeah, it started as soon as the Discord was up. He's like, nope, I hate this. Posted story number 2. He's like, I hate that too. Like, well, what do you like? Like, why are you here?
Not the stuff you're posting.
What are you doing here?
Spoiling things and
don't be in the. Do you know how that makes me feel?
No.
See, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? We have a podcast in a Discord where we talk about video games, and you're like, stop doing that.
Absolutely.
So what are we supposed to do?
Like, that's wrong.
That I muted. There was a place for you to put that. It's called leaks and rumors.
Far Cry exists on above a plane beyond that. Far Cry is a whole separate thing.
I agree.
You can't be expecting that from me with Far Cry or Clock Tower or GTA. None of that shit's gonna come.
See, nobody gives a shit about Clock Tower. That's the other thing. You can post all the Clock Tower shit
shut your whore mouth. You understand that? How dare you?
Shit you want.
Show some respect.
The only one paying attention. You be the only one that cares. Clock Tower can kick rocks.
Well, Far Cry also exists in that plane.
Yes.
This is Dev. Yeah, if Dev had his way, it would be SPSVG. Stop playing some video Okay.
Absolutely not. Because then who the hell would I be able to tell they're wrong? I need you guys to do what you do so I can tell you how wrong it is.
There you go.
Let's just be real.
That's dev. That's the dev
Let's be real.
experience.
Yes.
It does have its own channel, John 32. It's whatever channel I put it in.
Goddamn right.
That's its own channel. How are you going to
Whatever
tell
channel
me
it
how to
ends up in.
do my Discord?
Yeah. Whatever
And I
channel
just
it
get
ends
your
up
shit all
in
over it.
is the right channel.
You act like
Should
you
have its
show
own.
up.
It should have its own channel, Donnie.
You don't even
it's
show
called
up, Delvin.
PSVG.
Yeah, you're not even here.
I
I
don't
don't
have
even
to.
see.
People are like, who?
I'm always here. See,
Who the
this is what
hell is
happens.
who?
You know what
I
they said
show
last
up-
week on the show? They were like, who's that guy breathing into the microphone?
Yeah, that's just the guy on the couch, baby. That's who it is. And I'm
guy on
always
the
in the
couch.
Discord. What happens is I come in the Discord. They're like, "Hey, Delvin, fuck you, Delvin." I was like, "All right, I'm leaving."
You got to stay in
Like
Shack.
to hate art. Yeah, like no, yeah, I gotta stay. Shaq is
Yeah,
the
they
same
love you in
place.
Shaq.
They love you in
They
Shack
protect
Land.
me.
Shaq is a happy place.
I do love you
Very
guys.
lovely
I don't
place,
laugh
You know?
25% as much on any other podcast that I do here. This is always
That is
good for
true.
fun laugh.
Same.
We have a lot of fun together.
Yes.
We're
Even
hilarious.
in the Discord when we're just bickering, I'm laughing my ass off.
Constantly, like an old married couple.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Fuck you, Delvin Cox, Kyle the Pug. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Especially last week. Heard a lot of that. A lot of that. A lot of that. A lot of that happened last week. Fuck you, Delvin Cox.
So-
Like
We're gonna let you get your shit out the way first because we don't give a fuck. You're playing Tears of the Kingdom. Tell me about that, so I can tell you to fuck right off.
Wow.
yeah, it's no, it's just same old, same old. I'm getting back into it. So I can finally finish the shit. I got the Master Sword, so that's great.
Nice. How did you
Finally
get
got the
yours?
Master Sword. I did all the memories that you have to do. So it just pops up and like, oh, here you go.
Okay.
Then you grab it.
That's like the standard way. You know, there's like 5 different ways you can get it.
Yes, my son was telling me that, and I'm like, all right, just tell me the easy way to get it.
There's a way
No,
you
just
can
give
get
me
it
memories.
like at the beginning of the game. You can like clip through a wall and just get it.
Oh, nobody's doing that.
I wish.
No, I watch
wish
people
I'd
do
have
it.
known
It's
that.
insane. Like
I saw it. That's just way too much work. That's just nonsense.
it's like you put it next to a wall in a shrine, do a backflip and pause the game, and you just drop into, you just pick it up. I was like, what the
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in the game like that. Like, hey, you jump on this step 20 times and
Yeah.
you get infinite money or some shit like that. Like,
Well, I think what happens, if I remember correctly, you go to like a
Love
certain
finding ways to break the
shrine,
game.
you do like some sort of weird combo jump thing, and then you restart the game, and like the Master Sword is just there at the beginning of the game. You just pick it up, and you just
pick it up?
keep playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just pick it up.
Mhm.
It's just there in the beginning. So it's
Yep.
ridiculous. Yeah. It's like it tricks the logic
It's
into
great.
thinking it's there, but it's not.
All right,
Shout out
Johnny, they keep asking for this damn hat. Is there a way we can finally get
Dude,
the hat back?
don't we
and
have a
available?
merch store? We used to put it in the
We
notes.
did. It was like
I don't know if
Rebecca's
it's
thing.
still I don't know if it still works. We
Yeah.
had one.
try the merch store.
I don't know if but this didn't come from the merch store, right? I bought this, I think. Didn't I?
I thought no, there was an order that there's more than just you and Josh that have them. I feel like there's a
No.
couple that actually
That's what I'm
ordered hats.
saying. I think I bought this from my shirt and hat provider and then sent them to people. I don't think this hat is on that store, is what I'm trying to say. I think.
Yeah.
But I can't remember.
I am trying to access
We'll get back to you guys on the
PSVG merch store.
Rebecca made us a merch store. I don't remember what the link is. You can tell how little we sold, so it doesn't.
I know.
not that,
Yeah.
It's streamlabs.com/PSVG merch.
beautiful.
I'm on there right now.
There you go.
I'm looking
Find
for the
people
hat.
the hat. If there's a hat. I meant to buy a hat and I completely forgot. Life happens.
A lot of shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I went to it and we're streaming on it. It's just like us. Oh, look at there.
Oh,
Oh, because it's
Damn,
Streamlabs. That
that's
makes
cool.
sense.
Damn logos don't work. Yeah, I don't see any
Damn
hats
shame.
though.
Oh well.
yeah, I don't see no hats.
Yeah.
Sorry. No hats.
Maybe
You're all
if there's
showing
enough
up.
people that would like to put together an order, maybe I could do another order and like reimburse people. But like, it's not going to be cheap. When we were doing the house party and stuff, I took a bath on shipping. So it'd be like a $30, $35 hat, depending on where you live. I don't know if people
That's
want to spend that much money on a
Typical
hat.
for a hat. That's normal prices for a hat.
Because I think I get the hats for like $17, $20 maybe each.
Mhm.
And then it would be the shipping on top of it. But I mean, I was shipping shirts to people in like Alaska and Germany and stuff, man. I was being like, it was like, remember I was trying to ship that little Chromebook to Haley and they're like, it costs $150. I was like, what?
Like, nope. Not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Fucking shipping. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'm
All right,
glad you
cool.
got
So
the Master
Delvin-
Sword. And
Yeah.
I'm happy that
Yes.
you're sticking with it. You've continued to stick with it. It's more than we can
Yes,
say for Elden
I
Ring.
have.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Do you think
It
you'll
never
beat it
happened.
by the
It's
end
not
of the
about
year?
happening. It never happened.
Tears of the Kingdom, yeah. I think I'll be by the end of the year.
I mean, you're close.
Okay, so we've heard this before. Because God of War, he was supposed to finish by the year when that came out. He didn't.
Sure.
So what's the over under
Finish it though.
on Delvin actually finishing Tears of the Kingdom?
It's a good
This-
over under.
This year?
Yeah, this year. Yeah, I'm going with he's not going to do it. Spider-Man's going to come out.
See,
something else
that's
is
what
gonna
I'm
come
thinking.
out,
I'm
he's gonna
thinking
keep playing
more
He's
games
not
come
gonna
out
finish
and
it.
he just stops playing to play other
Yeah.
things. It's not
Yeah,
like
I'm going
when
with
he's not
finishing
going to like, I got to buckle down and finish this. That's not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
He's going to be
That
like, well,
actually
I'll
happened.
he'll be like, I'll come back.
Because one of the games I wanted to play this year came out, and I started playing, and I said, I'm enjoying this, but let me get back to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I don't think he's finishing it. Spider-Man's going to come and it's going to kick his whole thing
Everybody
out the
has little faith in you, Delvin.
Well, everybody else can go to hell.
See, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not going to lie to you. If the deadline was December 1st instead of January 1st, I'd be 100% he doesn't get this done before December 1st. But like, because it's January, I think that December month might get him there. I think he can do it.
Yes.
Nah, see, because December he
I might be
goes
done
and
way
like
before
goes on
that.
a whole like sabbatical. Delvin don't be doing shit.
So then he's
I
going to
feel
get more
he's
time
gonna
to
find
play.
other stuff to do. He's going to find other stuff to
Exactly.
do that ain't video game related.
Yeah. Like
Well,
I
he's
said,
gotta-
He's going to have a bunch of trips planned and stuff. She's going to be
He's
like,
gotta
don't
do the
bring
Christmas
that damn
show.
Switch.
she asked me to do something on New Year's. She wants to go out of town, well, out of state. So
Nice.
that's going to be a thing.
New York?
I don't know where we're going yet. That's one of the places she said.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So that's going to be a thing. And she also asked me, hey, you have a Switch. Can you teach me how to play Switch so we can play games together?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So there's that.
That's definitely going to kick off Tears of the Kingdom. You're going to be playing Splatoon or some shit together.
Animal
Because
Crossing.
I did tell her, I said, Mario Wonder's coming out. I know you like Mario because she does like Mario.
Yeah.
See,
So we
more
might play
games
that.
coming, kicking Tears of the Kingdom to the curb.
Yep. You got Wario.
No,
Got
that just
Super
means that-
Mario RPG.
Yeah, she's not playing Super
That
Mario.
Sonic game.
She'll probably play Wario.
Are you getting Sonic?
Play that. I don't think I'm getting Sonic.
Prince of Persia?
He's getting Sonic.
I'm definitely getting
Is it
that.
Prince of Persia coming next year? That's
That
next
was
year, right?
December.
I think it is. I think is it
Oh, it was next
Is
year.
it January?
December or January?
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
it's one of
January.
those months.
January.
Okay. Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, that's the game.
Dev, I don't know if
That is
you've
the game.
heard, Delvin's very excited for Detective Pikachu. This is like his game.
Yes, I am.
First of all,
And my son told me, he's
Detective
like,
Pikachu
you
wasn't
might
even
actually
a
like
real
this
game.
game. It is a game.
it's not even real.
It has a Detective Pikachu.
It's not real.
It's
Really?
sad.
Nah,
It just makes me sad for you.
doesn't exist.
Boy, it's going to be
It's
really
not real.
disappointing if I don't like this game.
It's going to be
It's
disappointing
really
regardless.
Yeah,
Whether you
but
like it or not,
you
I don't
like every
understand.
game.
I don't, that remains to be seen, but it's going to be disappointing.
Nah, it's going to be Detective Pikachu. I'm going to be sitting
Have you seen what Pokemon has been doing for like the last 7 years? Like the
No.
Switch's life cycle, it's all disappointing, man.
The last Pokemon game I liked a lot
Was Let's
was
Go.
Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah,
That was the last
same.
one I like, oh, this is great. This is great. But that was about it, yeah. And I bought every one of them. I'm like, ooh, this ain't it.
Same. I bought 2 of every one of them.
This ain't it.
Why?
Yeah, I'm like, this.
The Pokemon MMO though was pretty good.
Actually-
Unite was pretty fun. I like that one a little bit.
I haven't tried that one.
Oh God,
Now that
Kyle.
I think about it, I bought 3 of every
God.
one of them.
Why?
Legend Arceus. It's terrible.
Why? Because I have 2 kids and they both like Pokemon. They're big Pokemon fans.
What kind of fools will get jobs? Get out of here with this shit.
I've tried. That didn't work.
Pokemon. Yeah, so Prince of Persia Lost Crown comes out January 15th. Knew it was next year.
I'm not accepting anything, Kyle. You can look, Kyle, listen to me. All right. I like a lot of bad games too. It's okay to like a bad game. Just don't try to tell the world how great it is. Just accept what it is and then say, but I like it. That's okay.
Yeah. This is why the phrase "fuck you, Counterpunk" became a thing. Because you're trying to push your
agenda
on us.
Yeah, you're trying to indoctrinate people. It's like gaslighting. He's like, no, but Legends Arceus is really good. It's like, but was it though?
No, it wasn't.
Sean, I saw somebody post in our Discord about that. I don't even think I'd put it in the news, but like, is that a thing? Is it soon? Have you not heard this story?
March 28th. It comes out March 28th, whatever the hell it is.
Have you heard this story? All right. So there's a developer, Jules Watson. He made a game called Hatch Tales on the 3DS. And our old pal, Bobby, the Nintendo guru, was very close to it. He actually ran PR for this company. And like 5 years ago, this guy did a Kickstarter talking about Hatch Tales 2, and they're going to make it Mario Maker and everything. And then completely ghosted on these people for years. Wouldn't even give them like an update. Wouldn't respond to messages. And in the meantime, released like 7 games. Like every 6 months, he would show up on Twitter with a new game to sell. And we never heard from this Kickstarter again. It was called Chicken Wiggle. That's right. Thank you. Chicken Wiggle. Yeah. Now, my claim to fame on Nintendo Shack is I never liked Chicken Wiggle. I never bought into this on the ground floor. I was like the outsider throwing stones at everybody's excitement. I was like, I don't get it.
A game called Chicken Wiggle sounds terrible. What the?
It wasn't bad. He did Mutant Mudds and like Zeo Drifter and stuff like that. So it was pretty good. Like he's a good developer. I actually like Jules a lot. He did Dementium is my favorite game that he made. So I got nothing against Jules or I just never liked Chicken Wiggle. I remember Bobby and I arguing about it. It feels so petty and dumb now. When Bobby's like, you gotta like it's like Mario. I was like, it is not. I was like, what? But yeah, I'm happy. Sean, is it good? Whatever he showed or the trailer or whatever, like, is it good? Are you excited for whatever they showed? I don't know.
You know what?
Question.
No, we don't. No.
We're not doing this. Dev's like, no, I'm stopping this right now.
we are not.
Who cares?
We're not doing this shit.
Okay, Sean says it was decent. Okay. Oh, I don't know, Sean. I thought they showed a trailer. I have no idea. I have no idea what happened. This is how very little I care about Chicken Wiggle and Hatch Tales. Like somebody posted, I was like, good for them. And then, I was like, no. Well,
this
anyway.
Sounds like an update for Shaq. Sounds like an
update.
No,
we're not. We're probably not going to do it on Shaq either. Listen to the Nintendo Drive.
Carpool Gaming can cover this.
Listen to the Nintendo Drive, and they will tell you all about Hatch Tales. But yeah, I'm not.
Right now, Shaq ain't talking about that.
No. Good.
These aren't the Nintendo podcasters you're looking for.
Not even a little bit. Okay, so Donnie, we've been playing Cyberpunk.
We have. Yeah, I'm interested in hearing. So you're playing this for like really the first time.
Very much so. I played it on PlayStation when it first came out because I wanted to see just how bad it was. Mm. So I played it there and it was pretty awful. And I chose Corpo and did like just the very first part where you meet Jackie and was just like, okay, this feels like shit to play. I'm not interested. Tried it again later on PC when I got a better graphics card and all that good stuff just to check it out, and it still just didn't feel good. However,
this is really my 4th or 5th like legit run at it.
Jesus Christ.
I've already beaten the game completely once.
I have.
The first time I played it, I got it on GOG and I had a save that got corrupted and I was like, I'm not restarting. So then I got it on Stadia because that was like the place to get it at. And I had the
that's right.
Stadia stuff, right? So I was like, I'll get it there. And I played it for a little bit, and then just generally fell off of Stadia. And then I tried it on the Xbox when it was on sale for cheap, but again, on console it was poor. So I waited for like that first update patch.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was what, a year and a half ago? Was it last
that's
year?
When I jumped in the second time. I think it was last year.
That's when I beat the game. Like I was like, I'm in it for win it.
Okay.
And I just played that game like, I think it was like February or March. I played it all month long and had an absolute ball of a time. Loved it.
I tried it.
Absolutely loved it.
It just fell off. It just
and then I came away.
Right.
That's when I got the controller and the statues and the comic. I wanted all the things. And then now I'm playing it again. So
yeah,
I chose Street Kid.
So did I this time.
First, every other time I've always played Nomad.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is monumental. It's huge. The difference between Street Kid and I had like saw YouTube videos where they try to tell you the difference between the two or the three. Mm-hmm. And it's all like the prologue and everything's always the same. I was like, oh, it's not that big of a difference. And then actually playing, I'm like, no, there's actually a huge difference. My dialogue options were completely different. And it made my character feel completely different. I was like, this is completely different.
1,000%.
Yeah, I was like, this is way, and for me, it's way better. Like it's an improvement. It's a marked improvement over my Nomad experience. So from the start, it was a much better start. I was telling Sean last week, it's amazing how I'm playing like beat for beat the same thing, but how it feels so different. And that is like, I think the mark of a really great RPG, but generally speaking, a really good game.
Yeah. I didn't like the same way. Corpo, I tried that and I definitely fell right off. But the Street Kid, it feels like it just makes so much more sense. It makes the character feel way more like cohesive, and the way you meet Jackie and everything, it just feels so much better. It completely drew me into the game in a way that the other times I tried to play absolutely did not. So
that's how I am.
And it feels a hell of a lot better to play with this 2.0 update. Like guns feel so much better to use. The melee feels better. Everything just feels way sharper as far as the combat and just the movement. Everything just feels way better to me than it did previously. So that's
is that because the performance is better?
Yeah, the performance.
Because I was gonna say, because it mostly feels like I'm playing the same. The game is definitely. I haven't looked into like performance reviews or comparisons or anything like that, but generally speaking, the game is way more stable now. I mean, I think that's obvious, but like it's noticeably more stable to play than it was before. And I even played on PC. I played it pretty well, but it's better. It's better now. I'm playing at 1600 with very low ray tracing effects turned on. And I'm playing at 60, and it'll dip into the 50s every now and again, but it's pretty rock solid at 60 most of the time. Yeah,
I'm playing at 4K with DLSS performance turned on, no ray tracing. I'm getting
my DLSS is at quality.
Yeah, I did performance. I'm getting like 70, 80 frames.
Game.
It looks it looks so good.
It looks better without ray tracing than it way better without ray tracing than it used to. Like that is probably its biggest glow up is if you compare the non-ray tracing modes against each other. But I do think Cyberpunk is up there with like maybe one of my better ray tracing experiences. Like the ray tracing in Cyberpunk is pretty excellent.
I just don't want the performance hit.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I ran it at 4K. I was like, I'm going to go full 4K, turn everything up. And I was getting 30 frames a second, and I tried playing it that way. And I was like, I'm going to play it this way and just like adapt to it and get used to it. And I just couldn't. I played it that way for like an hour, and I was like, oh, I got to turn this off. It's like I play I play Cyberpunk so like fast. Like I'm constantly sprinting and constantly moving. To play it at 30, it doesn't work. And I don't think I want to play like mini first person games at 30. Like it might be a perspective issue. It really bothers me.
Do you change your field of view at all?
No, I've never really messed with it.
change your field of view, because that's the other thing about field of view games. Like, for example, Destiny. The field of view in Destiny 1 was further out. They shortened the field of view in Destiny 2, and it makes you feel like you're moving in molasses. So when you actually move your field of view out, it feels like you're going faster when you're moving. So I have my field of view set at 100. Typically for most first-person games, I set it at 105, and everything just feels like you're moving the way you're supposed to. You don't feel like you're stuck in mud or moving slower. So having the wider field of view actually makes a big difference in terms of how fast you feel like you're moving in a game.
I've generally, my PC experience, I've gotten really used to playing at 1600 because it's like picture quality. I'm playing at 4K. Like 1600 is very big on my big TV, but it gives me more room on the edges to set up Discord or music or like have windows, and I can like multitask. So that's kind of like, I've gotten so used to it that like trying to play at 4K 30, I was like, I don't like this anymore. It just went back. I was like, no, let's just turn some of this down. Let's turn the performance up. And I do lock mine at 60 just to make it more stable. I'm sure it would run higher if I turned it off, but I lock mine at 60.
Yeah. I let mine just be unlocked, turn off VSync, and just let it do its thing. And I haven't really experienced any dips or anything that made the game. Plus VRR, so I don't really feel anything at all. So it runs great. It looks great. I am so bought into so many of the characters and what's going on. Like, I want to chase down like all the different leads, and the Johnny Silverhand stuff is not at all what I thought it was, because I did not read or pay attention to any of the story stuff. So I was just like, holy shit. That is very different than what I thought it was.
My favorite actor cameo
in the game. A lot.
Yeah.
He's killing it too.
It's like, awesome. He's so good.
Great.
Yeah, it's great.
He's great. And I mean, I want to entice you to stick with it. It gets like, it's so Matrixy, like it gets so down that path. I've always thought you would really like it.
It does.
Oh, I'm itching.
It really, really does.
Every day this week, I was like, I gotta play. I even installed it on my laptop at work just to see if it would run well enough for me to be able to play on my lunch break. Like, that's how invested I am, like how much I want to get back to the game. Like, I haven't wanted to play a game this bad in a while, just to see where the story goes. Like, I'm just in it for the story. Like, the story is just so damn good. So invested.
Really exactly. Good. And I think if people were like hating reviewers that were talking about how much they liked Cyberpunk when it released and it's like poor state, I think they've got to realize that a lot of those reviewers were probably scoring it so well because of the story. The story is actually really, really good if you give it a chance to get there. And it does take some time to build.
Story.
You know, like the third act really goes hard. Like, it really ratchets. It's kind of a slow build. And then like a fucking drag race to the end. You reach the end, you're like, what was all of that? It's pretty excellent. I'm having
Act 2. Like, very beginning of Act 2. And I was just like, oh man, because I wasn't expecting none of that. And just like, oh shit, why?
I haven't even attempted any of the Phantom Liberty stuff yet.
Yeah, when does that even start? Like, what?
I have no idea. Haley told me, but I don't remember, and I don't pay that much. I was like, it'll pop whenever. You guys have known this. I've planned to replay this whole game when this update dropped. So in my head, I was like, it'll show up whenever it shows up. Right? Like, I'll just whenever it pops in, I'll get to it. But it's not like I wasn't going to replay the game. I'm going to play the game anyway. So I've got some good and some bad. And I'll start with the good. As far as the update, as somebody who played the whole thing the first time and then now playing it the second time, I can tell you there's a lot of things that I like a lot better. I do feel like the melee is greatly improved. I am playing mostly melee now. So I told you I wanted to do that, which I think is like their shinobi style. And I've got a bunch of different blades and I've unlocked a bunch of different perks. I can block bullets now with my blade, and it is fucking awesome. When you slop somebody's head off, you zip by them and just like swing. Oh, it's so good. So I'm having a lot of fun playing as a different style. So that's another reason, like, I'm playing as a different character, I'm choosing different dialogue, and I'm playing a different way. And it's like I'm playing a different game. I already know all the story beats, but it feels like I'm playing something for the first time. I really like that they've basically, as I understand it, taken all of the like attire and stuff and removed all of your armor from all of that. So like now you can really just kind of pick whatever clothes
Or
and
whatever
stuff
you
you want to
want.
wear that you think looks cool. Because all of your armor and everything are like the cybernetics, the enhancements that you get, the Ripper Docker and all that. Like that's really where your armor and stuff's going to come from, which I was like, this is much better. And like, it's easier to understand. And I do remember the first time not liking the stuff I was wearing, but wearing it because it was the best stuff I had. Right. It was like, and I didn't like that. So now I don't have to worry about that. I could just dress as cool as I want, which I think adds an immersive element to the character. You don't see the character, but dressing the character, making it style the way you want, like it immerses you in, you become the character. Like you're making the character. So I like that.
I had completely forgotten what I looked like until I started riding motorcycles. Like, oh yeah,
Oh yeah. When you hit
What she
like,
looks
yeah,
like.
third person.
I forgot.
My biggest good thing to say about the new update is when I beat Cyberpunk the first time, I often told you that it wasn't an open world game. It wasn't like that. It was like a linear story game that you would just go from beat to beat. This update changes a lot of that. That doesn't mean it's GTA 5, but it's more of a sandbox game now, and it feels that way because the traffic feels more responsive to you while driving around. Like if I hit somebody's car, they'll whip
They
around
crush
you,
you up,
they'll
or
turn
they'll
in
run
front of
away.
you. Exactly. Like the world is responding to you. The people on the street don't feel like they're so on a routine. They seem to be reactive and they move to you, and it feels a bit more lively. And adding in the new police chases, and because that never happened to me in the first game at all. It was like the first thing I did when I got basically out in Night City, so I pulled my gun out and just shot somebody right in the face in front of a cop. And they chased me like all the way out of the district. Like they chased. I was like, now this is fun. And so if you wanted to do the GTA thing of raising your wanted level and go into war, you can do that. And then like the gang started firing at me as I was driving by. So it is giving off that vibe more than I ever felt the first time I played this game. The first time I played this game, driving was a means to get to the next mission. Right? If I could have just fast traveled the whole thing, I would, because there was nothing to run across or encounter out there. And now there are. And because I'm like kind of engaging some of that, I do feel like I'm already doing a bit more side mission stuff now than I did the first time, because I'm enjoying driving. Like I've already got like 4 cars. Like I've bought multiple cars, where before I just had a car. Like who cares? Have you done any car combat?
No, I haven't.
Do you know you couldn't do that before?
The stuff that's in the missions, yeah.
Like you can't
Yeah, I
just
remember-
pop
I remember,
out and
you know,
shoot out the
couldn't
windows
just
and stuff.
shoot.
Now you can. And
So the
I've
missions
seen
that had that was the only time you had any car combat, was the ones where you
Correct.
had someone else was driving. That's crazy.
And I've seen that you can, if you want to, I don't, this isn't a spoiler. This game is years old now, but like now you can outfit cars to make like Batmobiles and like you can put machine guns and shit. I was like, oh,
That's dope.
yeah, like
That is really
let's
dope.
get into it. So I've already started amassing a little
go
car
Mad Max.
collection. So I'm liking all that. I'm having a lot of fun. I really am. Until I hit a mission and I encountered a bug that I encountered the first time I played it. I remember this bug. It's a relic bug that happens when you were saving Evelyn, and it is caused by a certain dialogue option that you say to Johnny. So, if I could, I don't think this is a spoiler, it's probably a warning. Yeah, especially if you're playing PC, but this is happening to people on consoles as well. When you're in this tree, at some point, you'll be prompted a dialogue option. You'll have 3 or 4 choices to respond to Johnny. Do not respond, Johnny, you're more fucked up than I am. Do not pick that. Because if you do, Johnny's glitchy screen effects and controller rumbling and everything will persist for the rest of your game. Indefinitely.
Oh,
just keep
fuck
going.
That sounds horrible.
Yikes.
So your mini map will glitch and shake, and the screen is glitchy and shaking, and your controller is in constant rumble. So this happened the first time, and I remember this because I did it because I picked that option, and here I come around again, and it's the option that I think is the fun option. So I picked it again, and it happened. Now here's the thing. Because this happened to me before, I was like, oh, I know how to get rid of this. Not a big problem. I'll keep playing. So I played like another hour like that and completed 3 or 4 different missions, thinking in my head that before the 2.0 update, if this happened to you a year ago, the fix was to go back to your apartment and sleep. You just go back to your apartment and sleep, and it goes away. piece of cake, like no problem. I went and did that, did not go away. And I was like, uh-oh. So then I go onto Reddit and people are like, if you get drunk, it'll go away. So they got drunk, did not go away. And as it turns out, whatever they did in the 2.0 update has stopped this bug from being able to be fixed.
Damn.
They've made this bug worse. It's like a 4-year-old bug.
That's ridiculous.
So there's a mod that you can put in the game to fix it. CD Projekt Red has addressed, they said, hey, we were aware of this and it's happening to a lot of people. We're working on it. Now, they said that before and they never got fixed. And as a matter of fact, they made it worse. So I don't know if it'll get fixed. I was going to do the mod, but then in my searching in Reddit and stuff, I found somebody that said if you do the vending machine missions, and I'll just leave it at that, it's a side quest, it'll go away. So last night when I was playing, I played the game. I was just cranking out story missions until I unlocked those missions to see if I could do those and make it go away. I did the first one, it didn't go away, but I think you have to complete the quest line, and I think it'll go away. And I just turned it off. I mean, I was too late. I had played it for too long. So tomorrow, probably the next time I get in, I'll finish that quest line and see if it goes away. If it doesn't, then I'm putting the mod in. I didn't want to do the mod, but if I have to, I will. But so I'm having.
It came out today, so maybe that fixes it.
Maybe that would fit. That'd be great. I'd love to boot up and try. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to warn people because I've played this game for 3 hours. These constant glitch effects. Now, lucky for me, again, being the evil gamer that I am, according to Delvin, the rumble doesn't bother me at all because I turned all that shit off of my controller. But if you read what other people are going through, they're like, my controller hasn't stopped shaking in an hour.
That is hilarious. So,
yeah, I'm having, a bittersweet. I'm loving it. I honestly, even this glitch aside, I'm having an absolute ball. Like it's better now than it was the first time. And I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. This is a big update, but like what I'm trying to convey is how much better it is. It's a huge improvement. It really is. If you've given up on the game, if you hated it, if you've ever been curious about it, now's the time. Go play it. Just don't pick that damn dialogue option.
It's so funny because I have a good amount of friends who actually finished it like the original time that it came out on console, no doubt. I'm just like, y'all really played through this?
Like, yeah, I did 20, 25 frames a second and all that.
Look, you couldn't tell if a game was running at 12 frames per second. You'd still be like, this is fine. You don't care about
performance. No, I remember very well.
Night City looked so empty on console.
It did. I had to turn off the HDR because it wouldn't work. The HDR just didn't work on the game. That's how bad it was. It was like, like I had to look up.
6 years from now, we're gonna get like Cyberpunk 2077, the definitive edition, and it's gonna be epic, right? It's just gonna run at like full 120, like ray tracing on all the time, and we're gonna get like that Skyrim Gold edition in like 2031.
It's not even gonna be something you install.
That's true. Yeah. Cloud. Yeah. Powered by Azure, Cyberpunk has never been better. We've thrown a data center at it, and it finally works. It's really.
Are you going to go back and play the Phantom Liberty at all, Delvin? Do you have any interest in it, or are you just like that was?
Oh yeah, 100%. I do. I bought it the other day. I'm just waiting till I get some free time. I'm gonna play it. But I'm excited for it. It looks great.
Damn, story trailer was epic.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
And it looks like I've been seeing people in Reddit say that it took like 30, 40, 45 hours to be like, it's a whole separate game.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. I think it's like 2 times what Mirage is.
Damn. Yep.
I'm excited for
Yet another game to
I love
sidetrack
Cyberpunk.
Delvin from finishing Tears of the Kingdom.
No, I'm going to finish Tears of the Kingdom before I get to this.
I don't believe
I think that's fine. I've been seeing a lot of the like Jeff and like some of the, the podcaster folks, like a lot of them are like, I'll try it another day. Like they're not stopping to play this. They're playing the new releases. So I definitely picked that up. I was like, I wonder how many people are going to actually come back and try to give it a second chance. Like we talk about all the time when DLC comes out, years later, how many people want to go back. Like I'm interested to know how many people, I mean, I don't think I'm not going to say that it's not going to be successful. I think there was like 300,000 people playing it yesterday. So like, some people came back, but it'll be interesting to see how many
well,
people come back.
I haven't even bought the DLC.
I think it's fine. Yeah. Well, PC Gamer said that the way that this is basically the path that I was taking. What PC Gamer said was they were like, we would encourage you to restart the game and play Phantom Liberty as it weaves through the story, like the main storyline. And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. Like, that's how I want to do it. Other people are just like rebooting the save and just doing Phantom Liberty. And I'm sure that's fine too. But for me, I was like, I wanted to kind of re-experience the whole thing together.
That's how I kind of want to do as well. So I'll probably end up buying the DLC before too long, because I definitely want to play the whole thing. Because it's got me hook, line, and sinker. Like I'm really
so happy to hear
it.
that.
I'm ready to see where everything goes. I'm all in.
I always thought you'd love it.
Great.
Love Takamura and Arasaka and all. I mean, it's really good. Man.
It was just really hard to get into starting as a fucking corpo, and
I've always thought
combat just felt wrong. Like,
if you're out there and you like Horizon, like because of the story, dude, you are going to love Cyberpunk.
And I loved Edge Runners, the show on Netflix. I absolutely loved that show. So that was another reason
I still haven't even watched that.
I feel like I should love this game.
Yeah, I tried it. I didn't like Edge Runners as much. It wasn't bad. I won't say anything like that, but like I didn't finish it. I think I got, I don't know, first few episodes. I don't even remember.
I think 3
or 4 maybe.
The whole series in one night.
Yeah, but you know, I'm not.
I loved it.
Into TV much.
Yeah, it's too much of a commitment. I understand.
I wanted it to be more like the game. I think was what I was, you know. But the game does such a good job of its story anyway. Like it is that. Like it is that.
After playing the game more, like Edge Runners feels like it just is a side story that's happening while you're playing.
And that's
the game.
what it's meant to be.
It fits.
Isn't it like a comic book or something? Like a long-standing comic book?
I have no idea.
I thought it was. I think when that came out, I think somebody was talking about how good the comics were. So I don't know. I'm not that into
I didn't even
additional
know
media.
Comics.
I think
that's another. Oh boy, if there's comics, I'm gonna have to get them.
Now I'll look it up for you. But I thought somebody told me that when it first happened, and I was like, oh my god! And they're like, have you read the comic?
Had no idea. I'm gonna have to go looking for that because I'm here for it all. Give me all the additional media. I love when games have additional stuff outside of them that I can delve into. It's fucking great.
I'm enjoying it.
All right, Donnie. It's time for us to move along into the news. Because we
have a lot of news. I don't see any comics. I just did a quick search on Amazon, so maybe they lied to me.
Oh, yeah, there's comics. There's a bunch.
That's what I thought. I thought somebody told me that.
It's is it Dark Horse Comics?
Well, I mean, that would make sense. Let's take it away, Sean.
Hey, Don, is that the way you move on the internet? Now read that news.
Good stuff.
Oh, yes.
We have a lot of news this week, which we did. I didn't honestly, when I woke up today, I was like, we've got no news this week. And now we have a lot of news. Let's start with PlayStation news. We've got a bunch of PlayStation and PlayStation adjacent news. Starting at PlayStation Plus, your essential games for October this month are the Callisto Protocol, Farm Simulator 2, and Weird West.
I like Callisto Protocol a lot.
Yeah, I love that game.
It's a really good game. I enjoyed it. It was really great. One of my favorite games this year I played. I heard Weird West is really good. I haven't really played it.
I've always heard that too. I played the demo. I didn't like it as much, but people do like it. People like it.
I don't know anything about Farming Simulator, so I can't tell you about that.
People like that game a lot too.
Yeah. So these are some good choices based off of people's likes. Callisto's great though.
My PS Plus will probably expire before I can have any time with any of these games.
I love that people that are subbing, if you missed it, you've got a chance to play Callisto for Halloween, like for spooky season, for October. If you're missing out on Alan Wake or you want to wait a while or whatever, like you can play Callisto and get your fix. I love it.
Play it before Spider-Man comes out, because October is Spider-Man month. Fuck Callisto, fuck spooky. It's Spider-Man month. Damn it.
Some people don't like superheroes as much as you do.
Those people are stupid.
That is true. Well, that's also true.
We talked about this in the rumor segment a couple times, but has now been confirmed. Horizon Forbidden West, the complete edition, is coming to PS5 on October 6th. More notable, maybe, is that it's coming to PC in early 2024, and that this PC port is being done by Nixxes and not Iron Galaxy. So it should be good.
So that means it might work.
It might be good
Might work
instead
at
of bad.
first, and not have to be patched.
Yes.
It's also coming to both Steam
might-
and Epic. You don't have to pick
Oh,
one.
really?
You can just get it anywhere. You can have both of them, whatever you want to do. This is a weird story, but I saw it in Eurogamer and VGC and IGN. Like, so people are covering it. Gaming Heads, which is a merch manufacturer, they make a lot of statues, right? They have been instructed to destroy all licensed PlayStation stock and stop shipping. And they claim that this is coming from Sony. So these people make Joel and Ellie statues, Kratos and God of War statues. They've got statues for Jack 3, for Sly Cooper, for Ratchet and Clank, and they had pre-orders live for an upcoming Joel and Ellie diorama that people, like thousands of people, signed up for. These expensive ones. And they're telling their customers, people that signed up for these orders, contact Sony for information on how to get your refund and cancellation, which is odd. Sony hasn't responded yet. My read from this is there looks like there's like some, like, I don't know. My read from this was that the company isn't going to issue refunds to customers because maybe they've paid royalties to PlayStation. And unless PlayStation gives them back the money they've spent, they're not going to give the customers money back. I think it's one of those sorts of things. Somebody's probably going to get sued in this. This is probably a lawsuit waiting to happen, is probably where this is headed. And I feel for anybody that bought any of those statues.
And they're like, destroy the statues. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Don't complete as many orders as you can or anything. Just destroy everything and cease your relationship with us immediately.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad drug deal.
It does. Yeah, it's like a bad dealing.
Like,
So.
just flush it down the toilet. Don't let them come in. God
It'll be
damn.
interesting to see. I'll try to keep an eye out for if Sony ever actually has an official response. Because I mean, I want to be clear. We only have one side of the story. PlayStation might be like, these guys took all the money and tried to run away with it. Like there might be a whole separate side of the story we don't know yet. But that's what we know as of now.
That is true.
A ransomware group that goes by ransom.vc have claimed to have hacked Sony systems and threatening to sell users' data on the dark web. They gave them a deadline. I forget what it is. I didn't write it down. It's like September or October or something. Sony has openly stated that they're investigating these claims. There is a cybersecurity group that says that this group is legit and that they have penetrated other systems before. However, the proof that they've provided that they've hacked Sony's systems seems to be shaky. Like they have a lot of HTML files and like some data trees and some presentations, but so far I don't think there's been any evidence supported that they have users' credit card data or something like that, but they might.
I'm not buying it.
I kind of not buying it too. I think Sony probably did everything under the sun to make sure that this couldn't happen again. It would be wild if it happened again.
Yeah. I feel like if it was legit, there'd be way more hullabaloo around it than there is.
Well, we got to wait and see if they actually sell anything. I mean, I don't think it would become legit until it becomes legit. Right now, it's just a threat.
Yeah.
Sell my shit. You're
not
just
buying
going to be practicing. Good luck.
Can we bring Jack
for it.
Tretton back to do like the same presentation you did before? Guys, we're sorry.
We're sorry. Our bad.
Yeah. Here's 3 months of PSN for free.
Here's Infamous.
Yeah, the original Infamous still.
You can get the original Little Big Planet on PSP. You can play it on your PS5 today, guys. Streaming only.
Give us the same shit they gave us the first time.
Here's Dead Nation.
Warhawk.
We have Uncharted 3. The remaster? Absolutely not. You can get the regular version of Uncharted 3 again.
They stole thousands of dollars from my account. Well,
Sounds like your problem, son.
Talk to your bank.
We will see if anything comes out of this. But I kind of, with Dev, though, I kind of, we'll see. Guess she'll be a bit more. I don't think so.
I'm not too worried about it.
In bigger news, and the reason I'm so happy today, Bloomberg has reported, and then Sony even confirmed, that Jim Ryan is retiring as CEO of SIE, Sony Entertainment, and the CEO of PlayStation. Hiroki Tataki will be the interim CEO and will work with Kenichiro Yoshida to find a successor. And I just wrote down a few things that we can all remember Jim Ryan for. Remembrance of the cat birthday party memo, advising his employees not to talk about abortions at work, his good, virtuous cycles of business, him talking often to game fans, believing in generations while actually not believing in generations during, as he head and stewarded PlayStation through its most successful and profitable era of all time. I wrote down a couple quotes, if you might remember. Let me roll back the clock. Jim Ryan, dogs are really man's best friend. They know their place. They perform useful functions like biting burglars and chasing balls that you throw for them, said the lizard man.
It's great.
When we've dabbled with backwards compatibility, says Jim Ryan, I can say it's one of those features that is much requested but not actually used. Then, while I was at the recent Gran Turismo event, where they had PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and PS4 games, they looked ancient. Why would anybody play this?
This man's a whole legend.
Now, in all honesty, I am very happy that he's leaving because I've just never liked him. But generally speaking, he was very successful and very good at what he did. He's had 30 years of PlayStation. He mostly head up the UK market where they've been absolutely dominant in. And he's ushered in a time where PlayStation has seemingly been profitable and successful without fault. Like even when they're not releasing games or anything, like they can't make enough to sell. So he does get some credit for that. This is also on his watch. They also raised the price of games and the console and the Surface and everything else. But generally, and I don't know about you guys, but I'll speak for me and then I'll shut up. I generally, and I think we've talked about this before, I do like it when I like the people that are communicating these decisions and leading the company. And I've never liked Jim Ryan. He seems like a suit. He always has. He's very corpo. He's very that guy. He's a businessman. He doesn't even seem like he even likes games. And I've always wished that one of their more personable people that we do like, either was in that role or at least was the spokesperson, right? You can have the businessman behind the scenes making the business decisions, but the interface to the community, like your diehardest of fans, I would rather it not be that person. So for that reason alone, I am happy to see him go, dude. Fuck Jim Ryan.
Delvin?
I agree. Fuck him. I never liked him. Nah. Hey. Goodbye, bitch.
The fun thing, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I know I said I'd shut up, but the funny thing is, I remember when we moved from Jackie T, who I loved, to Sean Layden. I remember not liking Sean Layden, and I never thought I would ever yearn for the days for Sean Layden to come back. And the hell, if Jim Ryan didn't make me miss Sean Layden, bring him back.
I didn't mind Sean Layden.
Neither do I. Not by comparison. I'm like, oh God, at least.
Now I'm wondering like who's gonna take Jim Ryan's place. Like if they're gonna like fuck it up even more. Like, hey, is this guy?
Fuck it
the
up.
fact that they didn't announce somebody
doing well,
and that they're gonna wait apparently until next year to fill the role makes me think it won't be internal. But that might just be an overreach because they've almost always brought in from like inside, right? They've almost promoted from within.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think.
I mean, here's the thing.
Like
they don't need anybody to talk or be the CEO right now. PlayStation is fine. He's not retiring until March. We have time. There's no need to rush it. I
think he's retiring in October.
No, it's March of next year. Yeah.
I thought the thing that said he was retiring in October and that the guy was going to serve
plenty of time
as interim until March. I mean, you may be right. It doesn't matter, but I thought that's what the presser said.
I don't think it matters one way or the other.
I don't think it matters.
It's PlayStation has got their trajectory for basically the rest of this generation. At some point, some new talking head will come in, and I'll pay them about as much attention as I've paid the rest of the talking heads. I don't
you're
really
right.
give a shit who it is.
You're right.
Give me Kevin Butler. I just want the commercials.
Right, no, that would be great too.
Before I
Yeah.
pay attention to anything the talking heads.
See, that's what
actually
I'm
say.
saying.
I just
Have
Okay.
Jim Ryan making you all the money, but let Kevin Butler like do interviews and talk to people. Like the shit that he said about the Call of Duty case and the abortions and the row, like just shut up. His cat birthdays,
Stop
like
talking.
stop talking. You know, I just didn't care about anything Jim Ryan had to say. I'd much rather hear what Neil Druckmann has to say, or Shuhei, or like anybody else. He was like my least favorite person. Herman Holst, I like him.
Yeah,
Let him talk.
Yeah.
he's good.
I got the sense sometimes that like Jim Ryan, and I know it's not the case. Obviously, he's very successful, but you get the sense, the feeling that he didn't even know like what his teams are working on, what their products are. You know, he's up there. He's like, I often talk to game fans. Like, do you? Does anybody believe this? I think you loathe them the way you sound most times. Like, oh, I can't believe I'm in this business with these peasants.
How can I get more money out of them?
Yeah.
I know.
These
We'll raise the
roofs.
price on PS Plus.
They'll pay it.
Basically,
These idiots.
Well,
laughing all the way to the bank and then to retirement.
Of course. Oh yeah, he's very rich
yes.
and successful. You know, like I
Yeah.
said, he's very successful. Give him his due.
You got the job
And after
done. That's
30
all that
years, after 30 years of anybody working anywhere, dude, salute, enjoy retirement. I wish to
Yeah.
be able to get there one day. Like what a sweet gig.
Yep. I'm just gonna die at my desk. I've already
Same.
accepted this and made peace with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah,
So
I don't want to die at my desk. I'd rather
But I'm
die
happy he's
old
gone.
Man.
I'm glad you're dead.
Your desk is like in your home, so you'll be fine.
I'd rather die like in a woman's bosom or something like that. I ain't gonna die at my desk.
What?
It's horrible. Yes. Suck some
Die
titties
fucking
or
just
something.
like you.
Down at my desk like a scrub.
Say that. Don't
Yeah,
say
there you
bosom.
go.
What are you like? You got a Werther's original in your mouth or something? Like, what the hell is that?
Old ass
Well, that
man.
was
He's about to break into like a
That's the whole
1930s Dick
point.
Tracy character. Listen here,
Right?
see, I found him.
Yeah,
What are
see?
you talking
Yeah.
about?
I should
Those
talk like
bosom,
that.
see?
That's the way real man
Gonna
goes out,
die in
see?
the tit, see? Drinking my scotch.
Jesus.
Old ass Delvin Cox.
Netflix had a thing that they called Drop One. Netflix Drop One, where they announced a bunch of new like shows that are coming to Netflix starting tomorrow with Castlevania Nocturne, which is a Castlevania
I saw that.
prequel set in
Prequel.
like the French Revolution, which is cool. We also got new anime series announced for both Tomb Raider and Devil May Cry. Did you see those?
I saw the Devil May Cry one. I didn't know that there was a Tomb Raider one.
There
Devil
is
May
a
Cry
Tomb
was
Raider
really
one.
good.
Devil May Cry looks awesome. I'm going to tell you my opinion. I wasn't that enamored with the Tomb Raider trailer. I was like,
I didn't
that's...
see it. I got to see that now.
But I also may not be just that into Tomb Raider that I want to watch a series for. But
Did
But
it look
Devil
like
May
an
Cry?
anime or did it look like
no,
a
it's
TV show? What did it look like?
no, it's like
It's
an anime.
anime-ish?
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of cartoony. But Devil May Cry for sure. Like I'm here for that because I love the Castlevania
Looks
show
great.
and I'm more invested into the lore of Devil May Cry. So yeah, I'm all in on that one.
The Castlevania
Scott
show's
Pilgrim
fantastic.
takes off November 17th. There has never been a show I think on Netflix that I'm more excited for. This is the only reason I even remember they even have Netflix is the Scott Pilgrim show that's coming down in November. I can't wait.
I forgot that was coming out.
It looks really good.
It looked good.
It looks great.
It looks really
Yeah, it
good.
looks fun. Then we got new announcements. One for Masters of the Universe, He-Man, Netflix anime,
Here for that.
coming next year. Another
Another
trailer for
Mhm.
Blue Eye Samurai
I'm
Which-
also here for that.
looked incredible. If you haven't seen the trailer, look at it. It's beautiful. And I mean, that looks great.
one?
And
It's an
then,
Edo period tale of revenge. Kill Bill
Yeah.
meets Yentl.
yep, nailed it. Then we got a
Okay.
trailer for Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. Delvin, have you seen this yet?
Is this the one done by Ari Shankar?
Sure.
And Cody Rhodes is in?
Yeah, why is Cody Rhodes in it?
Why not?
Because he's Cody Rhodes.
Well, they kill him on the trailer.
Yes, they do. That's the joke.
That was the thing. I Googled it. Like I Googled it.
Cool.
And nobody's talking like Cody Rhodes is. I didn't see anybody be like, I was like, why isn't anybody aware that Cody Rhodes is anime?
They'll talk about it on Twitter. A lot of people talk about it. They're like, oh, is that Cody Rhodes? They're like,
it's definitely
shit,
Cody Rhodes. The demon tattoo. Yeah.
It's literally Cody Rhodes.
It could not be anybody else but Cody Rhodes.
But I can explain why he's in it. Have you watched
No.
Ari Shankar did something else last year. No,
I definitely did not watch it.
That was this like superhero parody film with Diamond Dallas Page as like one of the characters.
Now
I can't remember the name of the movie.
Now I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's wild. You should watch it. It is wild and weird. I can't remember the name of it.
But I love me some DDP.
Diamond Dallas Page and Cody are really close, so I'm quite
sure
that's the reason why he's in it.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find.
I'm going to watch it anyway because Captain Laserhawk. We talked about this at the UB show over the summer. Captain Laserhawk looks awesome and stupid, just stupid and dumb.
Absolute nonsense.
Yeah, and I'm going to watch that, so I'm here for it. We have some Xbox news. So Phil Spencer and Team Xbox was in Japan for TGS, of course, but they went and stopped by Kojima Productions. They're hanging out with Kojima. And they're taking pictures, and Kojima's walking around Starfield backpack and all that. He's doing media and doing interviews. He signed somebody. He autographed somebody's PS5. Somebody brought Phil Spencer a PS5 to autograph, and he was like, sure. But in an interview with a Japanese media publication, they asked him of the prospect of games becoming exclusive to Game Pass, not just Xbox, but Game Pass. If you have to be a Game Pass subscriber to play a game. Now, this has been kind of like a common thread, really, that's kicked up a notch since the Call of Duty FTC battle. A lot of people are like attributing like Game Pass being like this all-encompassing, like essentially it being Xbox, like everything just becomes Game Pass. And it feels like Phil's really taking like a hard stance, trying to make sure that people are reminded that that's not the case. And he gave an answer to this question today. He says, no, that's not it. That's not what we're doing. He says, what we want to offer players is choice. Xbox isn't just Game Pass. The real success of Xbox is that more people play Xbox, whether it's on console, on PC, cloud, or on other consoles. We want to grow the community that plays Xbox. I have no intention on doing anything that would hinder that. Not a surprising take, but a lot of the things that have been said after the Activision case and all that, I'm not exactly sure if people were maybe expecting to hear that. Nothing? Okay.
I would have never imagined things just being exclusive to Game Pass. So
yeah, there's been like this thing that like they're just going to buy everything and it's just going to be Game Pass, and like that's what their only offer to the business is Game Pass.
Yeah.
Why would that be a thing?
I don't see that.
It's also his first time where he was like, we would like to put Game Pass on other consoles. You know, like where he really kind of like went that far. So it'll be interesting to see if something comes out of that one day.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while, that he wants it everywhere.
And we're seeing it now already. We'll talk about it later in the news, but I mean, there's already kind of a case for that. But moving on. Yep. Payday 3 apparently is struggling. I have not played Payday 3. I've never even downloaded or even thought about it. But
I forgot it was out.
Yeah, it's out. It's on Game Pass. Speaking of Game Pass, the launch right in Game Pass. This comes from PC Gamer. Apparently, the servers struggled to keep up with player demand as players were being locked out of the game on launch day for hours at a time if they got in at all. And the always online requirement that the game has means that people that want to play solo by themselves also can't play because they can't get into the game because of waiting queues. Starbreeze, the developer, says that the matchmaking software they use ran into a, quote, unforeseen error, which left them unable to handle a large amount of players trying to play, and that they're now looking for a new matchmaking service and also considering a less dependency on online services. You think maybe, I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Alpha?
Right. That, like, when you hear them say that, you're like, what are you talking about?
Did you
They're
not,
like, maybe we should
stress
have
test
made
the
it
servers?
always
Like,
online. It's like, did you just figure this out when your shit failed?
why aren't you just duplicating
Yeah.
what you did with Payday 2?
Why is it? But why?
Which-
I'm like, why is it retroactive? Why you're like,
Yeah.
huh? Maybe we should make it where it's not always online. Like, what a weird. Like, if anything, I want you to double down on it, not come out and be like, well, that didn't work.
Right.
Of course it didn't work.
Yeah.
Have we not learned this lesson 100 times over? I would have much rather than been like, look, we believe in this and this is going to make the game better. We just got to make the matchmaking work. I would have much rather than said that.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
came out and they're like, wow, we did not see that coming.
They threw some
Like,
stuff to the
everybody
wall,
saw that coming.
It didn't stick, so we're just gonna try something else.
Yeah. So apparently the game is, in
I mean, I guess
production.
it's good that they've got people that are really trying to play it still. So I guess
Payday's very
that's-
popular. Not on
I
us,
don't know.
but it's very
I don't
popular
know-
game.
I-
Isn't it
I
like
don't know
always like
anybody's ever played it.
Payday 2 was like always like top 10 Steam, right? It's always up there
Sure.
with all those games.
I've-
The
I don't know a
CSGOs of the
single
world
soul
and things.
that's played it.
Yeah, neither do I.
And Counter-Strike is like part 2 now. It's
Yeah.
Counter-Strike 2 instead of CSGO. I saw that. It's
Mhm.
like, what?
Alan Wake previews dropped today. So if you're on the fence and you want to learn more about the game, you can go read those things. I'm not going to sum them up, but I will say they're generally favorable. I think most people are saying that they're pretty good. But the news part is that Remedy confirmed that Alan Wake 2 will have a performance mode. But they add this game was designed to be played at 30 frames a second.
Why are we still designing games to play at 30 frames per second? We're better
So-
for this.
You know, there were a lot of PC players talking about that today. They're like, "Is it now?" Like, okay. This is an interesting one. Hotel Barcelona emerged at Tokyo Game Show last week. It came out the night we recorded, I think. Swery 65 and Suda51 had an interview where they introduced their new time looping 2.5D horror parody action game.
That's a lot.
Yeah, they said on the horror side, Swery 65 said there are so many subgenres of horror, such as slasher movies, zombie movies, summer camps, babysitters, and so on, that we came up with the idea of our bosses through the tropes that each of those subgenres have built up over time. So it's not taking in like actual villains. You don't have like Chucky or Ghostface, and it's like their own thing. This has been an interesting story. Anytime Suda does anything, I generally get tagged, and I like to have some sort of response for it. Suda doesn't really seem all that involved. If you read the full interviews that were going around and watch the video, he's like, yeah, we talked about this game doing this one time, and I gave him some creative ideas, and then he called me and said the game's ready. So apparently Swery and his, I think they're called like the Dark Owl Studio. I'm not sure what Swery Studio is called anymore, but they're doing it like it's them. Grasshopper's being credited. It doesn't appear that Grasshopper is working on it, which is, and I may be mistaken on that because there's not a lot of information on it, but I say I might be mistaken because here's the thing. It looks like Swery 65 Studio is trying to make a game that looks like a Grasshopper game. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. What I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, like it, like the
That's
style they're
of it.
going for. It looks like a studio that's trying to emulate what another studio does. Like it doesn't look quite Grasshopper,
Yeah.
but Grasshopper-ish.
Looks inspired by.
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have like high hopes for it. I don't think it looks particularly good. It kind of looks like Travis Strikes Again. If I had to like just pull a comparison.
It
You know,
does.
it's an action brawler with boss battles and stuff, and I'm sure it's going to be like really hard. I'm sure they're going to do that, and it's going to have some nonsensical story. Swery 65 stuff that have come out hasn't been stellar. So, so I'm like very hesitant to get too invested. And it just sounds like, I don't know, and again, I might be mistaken. It just doesn't sound like Suda51's really all that involved. It sounds like he came up with like some of the creative ideas like years ago, and then they just kind of built this game. And they brought him back. So, I don't know. We'll see it when it comes out. It comes out next year, apparently.
Hopefully it's good.
Hopefully it's good. Yeah, I'm not rooting for it to be bad for sure. Quest 3 launches October 10th for $500. There's also a $650 model. It comes with Asgard's Wrath 2. If you get the expensive model, it comes with 6 months of MetaQuest Plus included. And that is their subscription plan where you will get 2 VR games a month. So you're essentially, if you get the more expensive model that has more memory, more storage, you're essentially getting the more expensive model, the better hardware, with 13 games, because you'll get 12 from the 6 month plus the one that it comes with.
That's a great deal.
It's really not that bad. You know, $650 sounds like a lot, but when you factor all that in, it's pretty good.
Yeah. PlayStation PSVR costs that amount, and you don't get shit but a handshake.
No games, and your old games don't even work.
Yeah, like, high five, good job. Bitch, you don't got it with that bullshit. Give me some fucking games.
It was also announced that Game Pass and their cloud streaming version of Game Pass is also coming to the Quest. So if you get the new MetaQuest,
that's dope.
You can play Game Pass games on it. I am intrigued to know how that works for people. I imagine it's just like a screen. You put the screen on your head and you grab a controller and you're playing Game Pass. Like, I wonder if that's good.
So.
Is that a good thing?
Have you played MetaQuest before?
Yeah, but like the MetaQuest, the visual fidelity of the Quest 2 is not something that I would want to sit down and watch something in.
Yeah, but they have a little mode where you can watch TV.
Yeah, but it's like
so
looks like you're watching YouTube in 2004.
Yeah, it looks a little like hazy, like you're in a fog or some shit.
Yeah, it's like 580p. Like, what is this, a Wii? What are we doing here?
Yeah, this looks good. Yeah,
maybe the third one.
It's not the best.
Maybe the third one will. How does the PlayStation VR 2 compare, like, to the Quest 2 in terms of visual fidelity? Like, when you put on your new PSVR headset, does it look like you're looking at like an HD TV?
Yeah, it looks great.
Is it like crystal clear and sharp and all that?
It is very crystal clear and sharp.
Nice. Okay,
great.
so
I can't even complain about that. That's the one.
Maybe that works then. Maybe you can just play some Game Pass games on it. The least I can say about this is at the very least, at least it gives you a catalog of games while you wait for more VR games to show up. Because the thing that I've always had an issue with VR is they don't have like a giant pipeline of games. Like, there are games coming out, but I don't think most people are interested in most VR games that are being made. They kind of have highlight releases. You get maybe 2-3 times a year, maybe these like big drops.
Yeah,
you know, like the Spider-Man or a Star Wars or Resident. Yeah,
simple. Resident Evil, Walking Dead, and something else. Walking Dead.
So if you get a Quest 3 and you drop down $500 on this new headset, at least you know at the very least you will always have something to play.
Yes, the boxing games are pretty popular on there too.
So that's pretty good. And I imagine, like, if I remember when they unveiled the Quest 3, it's going to have all the PlayStation things, right? It's going to have haptics and all the controller stuff and all. So maybe the controller experience will also be good. I wonder if you'd have to pair an Xbox controller. Like, they don't have all the same buttons on the Quest controllers, right? You don't have a D-pad and all that?
You gotta... Yeah, I don't think you have a D-pad.
So you do. You probably will just have to grab an Xbox controller.
Yeah, I think the D-pad's the only thing you don't have.
Yeah, so I think you'd have to grab an Xbox controller. I wonder if you could plug it in. Does it have a USB-C port on the headset?
There is.
Or would you do Bluetooth?
Charging. I think
it's for charging, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to have to be Bluetooth, yeah.
I think it's kind of fascinatingly weird. Like, I want to see, I'm not like interested in it, but I want to see how people react to it. Like, I want to see a YouTuber be like, here's what Game Pass on Quest looks like. I'm just interested.
If they have Game Pass on Quest 2, I'll try it to see if it works.
I think it's Quest 3 only.
It's only on the 3?
I think. 3? I didn't go all that deep on it, but I think. I've also been wrong before. I thought Jim Ryan stepped down in October. His ass is here, and he's going to wait till my birthday. So don't take me at my word for it. I might be completely wrong. But I thought it was only for 3.
Because I'm assuming it's just streaming only. It's not like you can like...
Yeah, it is. It's cloud. It's cloud.
Yeah, so...
It's still, that's been my thing with the idea of Xbox bringing Game Pass to Switch or PlayStation. I've always said, just put the cloud app on it. It's essentially just opening up your store to allow for a third-party app. Like you're not selling anything. It's cloud only, so it's not going to stop anybody from. It's not going to stop most people from buying a game. We've already talked about. I think it's been evidently proven how little the game consumer cares about streaming games.
Yep.
Nobody gives a shit. So why not just put the app on there? If anything, it just might entice more people to buy your damn console. Like, I've always thought that if Game Pass came to Switch, that's how it would come. It would be streaming only. People are like trying to make it up like it would only be first party games and it wouldn't include indie. I'm like, no. Stop doing all that. You're making it hard. It's just Android app. Just Xbox Game Pass app.
Yep.
And you just get to stream some games. Maybe remote play. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
Remote play to your Switch. Anyway. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming to Steam next week. It was like 2 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PC is such a damn redheaded stepchild.
The redheaded stepchild. I'm sure that port is going to have all kind of problems.
I can't wait to see what it looks like on Steam Deck and stuff. Because that's a perfect game. Like if you want to play a game like that portably, it's a perfect game. And it actually ran really well on Switch. It's a decent Switch port, like a console game. And then Ubisoft, Yves talking about cloud streaming. He was in an interview where he said, "We strongly believe in the next 5 to 10 years, mini games will be streamed and will also be produced in the cloud. That's what pushed us to go forward with the Microsoft deal." He said a lot of other things. Like he generally was just like, this is the future. We're all going to be streaming games. Like get used to it. But yeah, the interview he was asked specifically about like, why did you do this with Xbox? And he just went on a tangent about how great cloud gaming is going to be. What do you guys think about that?
I don't want it, but sure.
It seems to be everybody's
have your damn
cloud-averse.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, but I'm not a fan of it. But they have to get the infrastructure down perfect so it just seamlessly works.
I think they will. I think everybody knows this about me. I agree with Yves mostly. I'm not saying I want it to be that way, but do I think that will be the way? I do. There's millions of reasons for them to make this work. Like all of the motivation is on them to get cloud working. It'll make patching games better. It'll make delivering games better, make it more convenient, reach more people. Like there's a million reasons for them to figure it out. And I think with enough technology and enough time, they will figure it out. Just like they did for video.
I just don't want to have to be online. What if I just don't want to be online?
I get you. And I don't know how they're going to address that. I think there'll be a while, there'll be a period. Well, there'll be a period where they let you do both. Right? But eventually there will come a day where you can't.
I mean, if it's in the cloud, you have to be on the internet. There's no way around that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, I think in consoles, I don't think the end of a native game is near. I think for a while we'll be able to do that. Yeah. It'll be like, like we can still download stuff to PC and Steam. I think there'll still be
children
boxes.
in Dilfy, you guys can have your cloud games. I'm going to stick here with my PC. Put it on the goddamn box, all right?
It's one of those things, and this is it is one of those things where like Netflix, nobody ever thought it was going to happen until it happened, and then it happened like in 18 months. Everybody was doing it.
Yeah, and everybody's just accepted it.
Yeah,
everybody's like, "Oh, this is weird."
Everybody
wasn't happening. Like everybody's like,
everybody's stomping and crying and screaming and throwing tantrums about how much they don't want this, and then the moment it becomes convenient and cheap, everybody will just do it. None of that outcry will have mattered at all, because that's another part of it. With the amount of like games that are increasing in price and whatnot, I think this will be an avenue for them to like make that subscription thing a little bit more adopter, like user friendly. Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Instead of paying us $100 for each of our games, just subscribe for $20 a month. Like that's how they'll get people. Yeah. And everybody will be like, "Oh yeah, well I'll do this," and then they've got you.
We subscribe to everything.
Don't Nod's upcoming RPG Banishers: Ghosts of New Eden has been delayed to February 2024.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw this game a month ago.
We all saw this game.
I saw like a
Delvin.
trailer for it.
At the
No, I
Keeley
saw it after you
thing,
guys saw it.
people were playing it hands-on. So there were a couple of the folks
Yeah.
that I follow that were talking about it.
It looked
It looks
good.
cool. I'm just
Yeah, I've heard it
tired of
called-
everything getting pushed into February. Can we stop?
I've heard it
throwing
called, like-
everything into February.
I think they called it like Witcher Light. If I'm remembering the same game. Not sure if I am, but I think so. Which was surprising to me because it's
That's the
not what
same
I
game.
imagined when I heard of a Donut game. I was like, what? But like that's kind of like what they said, like they were kind of going for. And I think it might have been like a combat specific kind of comparison.
I don't know what Donut makes, so it just
Like
looked
Life
a
is
nice
Strange.
adventure game to me. Oh,
Did they do, like-
that
did they
game
do
didn't look like
Vampire?
that at all?
Vampire, Life is Strange, and wasn't it the other game they did? Not Life is Sotel. What was it called?
Let me look them up. See if I can't get you something. They did Remember Me, Life is Strange,
Oh, man,
Vampire,
Remember Me? That was a good.
Tell
game.
Me Why, Twin Mirror, and Jusant.
Tell me why.
We forgot about Jusant, the game they just released.
Just
I think
Son,
they
didn't
is
forget
that the
about
one
it.
you climb?
it's the climbing sim.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a third-person RPG, action RPG.
So more like Remember Me.
Maybe yeah,
So that's
might be
kind of
better.
what that was.
I'm not surprised this game was delayed at all. I'm actually surprised it took this game this long. I wouldn't be surprised it got delayed again. But it's playable. I've seen people play it, so it's in playable state. But yeah, I thought they would probably get out of the way of everything. It didn't seem like most people even remembered this game was happening.
I mean, you delay it to February, and there's like big games in February. I feel like
That's why I think it possibly could get delayed again.
like
In the rumor section, we got a report that came out this morning about Far Cry 7's possibilities. And essentially they dropped kind of like the pitch of the game. Now, again, we should say this is just a rumor now. They reported this game isn't due until 2025. Who knows what the fuck will change between now and then. But according to plans right now, the plan is to have a game where you are a member of a family unit and a conspiracy group called the Sons of Truth kidnap your other family members. And then you have to go and save them one at a time, which is kind of like tackling the family in Far Cry 5 or the different bosses of different regions. But the interesting thing is that this game will have a new interrogation mechanic and apparently an in-game timer where you have so long, I guess, to save them before time runs up. Like Dead Rising.
Interested.
It is
I
interesting.
wonder if
I don't know how
like
that works
as
in
the
Far Cry.
time keeps going, you just start losing family members. Like
Yeah,
they
that's what
don't
I was
kill them
thinking.
all, but they just kind of
Yeah.
kill one at a time.
That's what I
the
was
longer
thinking.
You take. If I'm playing
That's
this Far Cry
interesting.
5, my whole family's dying because I'm taking my sweet ass time. I'm doing all the side shit.
I was going to say
and all the
that because
shenanigans. Everybody's gonna die.
that's not how people play Far Cry. They like explore the world and walk around. They're like, nah, you got a time limit. Come save these people. I don't know if I like that. It's gonna be interesting.
That's the general response to this, or at least on my Reddit. The Reddit that I'm in that follow this news, like the gaming leaks and rumors Reddit, nobody liked this news. I want to remain open-minded. I also just kind of, I don't know. I'm like, there's a part of me that just disbelieves that Ubisoft would go so hard on a divisive mechanic. Like,
It's a
that's
cool
not what they
mechanic, I
do.
think.
Look,
It's not
look.
what Ubisoft does.
Ubisoft leaked this on purpose to see what the response
Probably.
would be, so they'd have time to
See?
go ahead and change it. if
It's
nobody
honestly
liked
where my head was at this morning. I was like, I'm just press X to doubt, man. Like Ubisoft wants to reach as most people as they can. They want as many people into their games as possible. The idea of being like, we're going to have this extremely divisive tactic that's the entire game is shaped around on one of our most popular franchises, I don't buy it. I'd respect the balls of them to do it, but I just don't think they've got it. I don't think they will.
That does take
I'm
some
like-
marbles.
I was like, there's no way.
Look,
There's no
they
way.
said- We've already got a Far Cry game coming out. It's called Avatar. We're going to do something
That's
different.
true.
With the actual
Fair.
Far Cry
Fair.
game.
Yeah, it might be true.
Yeah.
Also, or the other way I was thinking about it is I could totally see them having this, but it being like on hard mode. And then like an easy mode, you have like a bunch of time or no timer. Or they give you an in-game item that lets you stop time or rewind time. Like Ubisoft's
now we're
really
saying
good at
Deathloop.
making their games very like approachable. in that way. I would be shocked. But I also like the idea of the kidnapping thing. I was talking to Dev this morning about it. I was getting like a 24 vibe. Like your family gets taken
Boom, boom.
and you've got so many hours to save them. And it adds to
Now
the
you're
tension
selling
of the
me on
game. And I was like, okay, that sounds kind of fucking awesome. And then if you start thinking, the other thing I was pitching, Delvin, is if you don't get them on time, maybe it impacts the endings. Maybe there's alternate endings. Maybe it adds to the replayability of the game. Maybe you play the game, you don't save anybody. You play the game, you save everybody. Like I was like, oh, that could be dope. That could be good though. So
Could be. But
I'm
it's not
remaining
what you
open-minded.
think of when you hear Far Cry.
no. But as long as you're in an open world running around blowing shit up, then it's still Far Cry.
Yeah.
So then everything is
So.
Far Cry,
Yay.
Yes.
which is really just GTA.
Correct. First person GTA. Well, the response to this was the number one upvoted response to this was they need to do something because Far Cry is formulaic.
Is it?
I don't believe that. I don't agree with that sentiment. But the reason I brought it to the Discord and the reason I bring it up to the show is because that was the popular response. That's the response that
Is that
the
a bad
majority
thing,
of
though?
people shared. People don't like that.
Every franchise is formulaic if you think of it from those terms because that's
Yeah.
what the franchise is. Like
That's the formula. That's how you get the franchise. By following the formula.
We've talked
Yeah.
about this at every Far Cry's news release and drop and release in the game and review. Like, dude, just people just generally don't like Far Cry. But then you see it sell and it outsells Assassin's Creed. So it's like the talking group in video games, like the video game commentary doesn't like Far Cry for whatever reason. We've tried to do that before. I'm not going to do it
You're
again,
lying.
but it's wild. Yeah, it is. That's what it feels.
Honestly, I would just stop listening to anything anybody has to say and just look at the game sale. And
Yeah.
be like, you guys can
Well,
shut
that's
up.
the
Game
difference,
sold.
right? Like there's
I
like a
don't care.
disassociation. You're like, this doesn't make sense. All the reviewers say they hate it. It's the best selling game Ubisoft has. Like it's
'Cause
the one.
reviewers are
Yeah.
It's their
stupid.
best franchise. And it's the funny thing is like our influencers and our YouTube, nobody wants to admit that. Nobody would admit that Far Cry is their best game. Sales wise, it's their best game. I know Assassin's Creed means a lot more to people, is better. Now, I think Valhalla may have changed that. I mean, it might be Valhalla, it might be different. But before Valhalla, it was Far Cry. Was their best game. Far Cry 5 crushed post Ubisoft games. Just dominated. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Weird story. Yeah, I think it's cool to do the conspiracy thing. I feel more of my Far Cry 5 flavors coming back, so I can't wait to find out more.
I like it.
Apparently be a couple years away. Some Nintendo website came out and said it's going to be on the Switch too.
Oh god.
That was another part of this. People are like, it'll launch day one on the next Switch. That'd be wild.
Be huge.
Yeah.
Because that's something Ubisoft never put on Switch. No Far Cry game ever got ported to Switch.
So we're not even gonna try.
Taking Far Cry on the go.
Yep.
Love it.
Dev, you can do the Rude Day segment.
All right, jumping into Rude Days is over and under. No longer sponsored by Gold Coin because Gold Coin doesn't exist. Isn't
Yeah.
real. Never
Yeah,
happened.
to us anyway.
Hater.
Fake.
Currently,
Fiction.
the score is Delvin with
Didn't
20,
happen.
Johnny with 19, and me with a poor little 18.
Coming for
Currently,
you,
me and
Delvin.
Johnny both got the false
see.
right on Castlevania, not
Yes.
being announced. So we're trying to catch up here. He wants to know over or under 90.5 on Spider-Man 2. Delvin, what say you?
Under.
Delvin is taking the under.
Damn it, I thought he'd take
I'm
the
going-
over.
I'm going over. Fuck it. Everything about this game says it's a 90 plus. Everything we've read, everything we've seen has said 90 plus. So I'm taking the over. This shit's
I
going to
agree.
be a 92 and a half.
I feel like they're gonna give it like an 88. So what's gonna be one dickhead who's gonna be like, yeah, it's a 5.
I want to disagree with
Something
Delvin
like
so
88.
bad. Like, I need a
I
reason.
want you to disagree with me.
I need a
I
reason.
want you to disagree with me.
I know. So I'm like, man, this could be it. By the end of the year, I might be praising or hating whatever this Spider-Man ended up being? Spider-Man was an 88.
Mm-hmm. And everything that the press has said so far is this one is that much better. It takes everything the Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales did and makes it that much better.
Miles Morales, man, the gaming media loves them fucking PlayStation games.
What's not to love?
I gotta agree with Delvin. I'm gonna take the under.
You guys both suck.
It's too high.
Fuck it. What you got to lose? This game isn't even real. It's rigged. So over under on
It's real to me, damn it.
88.5 for Super Mario Wonder.
What was the last Mario game?
3D
Who the
Land.
hell knows? There's so many of them. They just keep coming out. Who knows?
It's true.
Come on, Devin. This is the game that you and your girlfriend are going to play for hours on end. Over or under, sir?
Ruth Day segment? Sitting in the room together. Hey, babe, before we do the thing, let's go talk about this Ruth Day segment.
Super Mario Wonder.
What's the
you
over
son of
under
a
on
bitch.
Mario? 88. This is hard. Fuck it. You only live once. I'll go the over.
Boom, boom.
Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. This is just, I wanted to look up a past score. Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe scored a 79, Delvin.
What's wrong with people?
Does that change your mind at all? Because that was the last like 2D
Yes, it
game.
does.
I thought it
See,
might.
that's what I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't, because
That's what I was
3D
trying to
Land
figure out.
scored really well, but that was a 3D Mario game. It's a 2D Mario game.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Now that you say that, yeah, the under looks a lot better.
Why would it score a 70? That's so confusing to me because I feel like that game is just
Super Mario Maker, 85.
Yeah, the under.
So weird.
So you're taking the under.
Fuck it, I'm going over. I
I'm
don't
taking
care.
the over, baby, because I
So am I.
believe in Wonder. Wonder's the difference, though. So I'm actually happy that you took the bait. I may come to regret that. You might be right, but I got a sense, and it's just hope. I have a hope, undying wish in my body that everybody that's piled on 2D Marios because of how samey it's been for a decade, they take to Wonder and they love the zany and the crazy and the dumb shit it's doing, and they give it the pop. They give it the Nintendo bump because of
That's
it's
so
doing weird
stupid.
stuff.
It's 2D Mario. What do you expect? It's like perfection. It's just 2D Mario. It should never get anything under a 9 as far as I'm concerned. It's
It's gonna get hippos.
tried and true formula is great.
You get to be hippos. Hippo Mario. What's not to like?
I don't want to be no goddamn
I think you might be right, Delvin. I think the under is probably the safe guess here, but I'm gonna take the over.
Fuck that. Delvin's gonna be wrong for the rest of the year. Always.
I feel like the line's a little high. I thought the line would have maybe been a little more fair at like 87.
I think that's I think the line's a little bit high.
I think the line's a little
87,
high.
yeah. That's what I think it's going to be 87.
Yeah, because I could see this. I
87,
honestly could
86.
see this coming in anywhere from like maybe like 84 on the low end to like 90 on the high end.
Yeah.
92 and a half. Fuck it. Everything's at
Dev's
92
like,
and a
I'll
half.
raise you. I see your 88 and a half, and I raise you.
Yeah,
I
let's
like it,
go.
Jeff. Keep doing that.
Take it all the way up to the top.
I'm excited for Wonder, like very, very excited.
I am too.
Like I cannot wait. It looks so much fun.
2 out of 3 of the Nintendo Shack members are excited for Wonder.
Yeah, Rebecca doesn't give a
And it's not the
shit.
2 you expect.
She gives no fucks about that game. She's like, you guys have fun.
She's my spirit animal. Fuck Mario.
Oh God, this damn fucking love affair will never stop.
Love her. She's great.
Who doesn't? That's what she needs in life. More people love Rebecca. Ugh.
All right. Enough of that shit. Time for some questions. We do a couple, then I got to go bounce out and put children to bed and leave you two for it.
All right.
So with that, I'm
Do
gonna
the
start
ones
with
you care about
basketball
most, then.
questions. So Math Man's a good question. Over or under 75, the number of games that Wemby plays for the Spurs this season. Also, odds that he wins Rookie of the Year.
Under.
Under.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with under, even though I don't think he's had any real
No,
like injury.
it won't be because he's hurt.
It's just
It's
a lot
because
of
of the
games.
Spurs. It was the Spurs.
That too. Yeah.
Everybody that hates player rest like that, I've reminded people forever. The Spurs have been doing this for
They
30
started that.
years. Yeah,
They started it.
Yeah.
they've been doing this. They were doing
That's
this when
their thing.
Ginobili was there.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna play him a whole lot, especially if they're out of contention. They'll sit him.
Yeah.
On back if he's not feeling well, they'll sit, like if he breathes wrong, they'll sit him.
Yeah.
So yeah, and 75 is a lot. Most NBA players don't play 75 games.
Not anymore.
Yeah, 75 is a lot.
Rookie of the year. Let's go into Scoot. Fuck Wemby.
Ooh, I was just about to ask, who are the contenders?
I have no idea, to be perfectly honest.
Hang on, let me look. NBA Rookie of the Year predictions. All right, so here's our betting odds. 7-1 Brandon Miller, 4-1 Chet Holmgren, 4-1
Chet.
Scoot Henderson, and Wemby on its odds-on favorite at 140. So yeah, those are your 4 rookies to pick from.
Yeah, my bet is going to be on Chet or Scoot.
You love some Chet.
I do.
It's your
I
guy.
really do.
I would love to see the
Chet.
Thunder just like fucking rise up and dominate for a while. That'd be great.
Same here. We'll move back to Seattle and be the Supersonics again.
Yeah, we need that.
Brandon Miller could. He didn't look that great in summer league, but he can score. So the thing that Brandon's got going for him that the other two don't is that Charlotte sucks. He's just gonna have the ball and just like go do stuff. Scoot's not. Scoot still has a team and they have got players and he's still gonna have to play with Sharp and everybody. So like that's not gonna like. I mean, I think he can still be Rookie of the Year, but I think the path will be a little harder for him. And same with Chet. I don't even know how many minutes Chet's gonna play like a game. He could play 28 minutes a game for a while, Yeah. Wemby, though, the thing about Wemby, let me know what you think about this. I would vote for Wemby Rookie of the Year, probably based on defensive impact, but I don't think NBA voters would vote a defensive player for Rookie of the Year. Like the Rookie of the Year award almost exclusively goes to a player that averages the most points. Like it is a point-based award. But I don't think that's Wemby's game.
No,
Wemby's
that's
game
not
is going to
Chet's.
be like, and I'm watching me eat these words, but I think for a while as he gets adjusted to the NBA, it's going to be like 12, 15 points, 10, 12 rebounds, a couple threes, but like 5 blocks and 3 steals. And he's just like, he's a force in the paint that forces other teams to just start shooting more than they normally do. He's going to turn other teams into 3-point shooters. I think it's going to be more of like his impact to the game over his individual statistics.
I feel like Chet, honestly, is the exact same thing.
Oh, I think Chet's going to go get some, though. He's just more mature. He's going to go get some.
That's the thing. He's a little bit more mature. He's played plenty of the college game and has a year of watching the NBA and being on the NBA team.
I think Wemby's going to be a little slow out of the gate.
He can be a defensive nightmare.
But Wemby's going to have, and Chet will too, but I think Wemby's going to have like some wow moments where people are like, holy shit. Or when you see a team that like really packs the paint and then when they play the Spurs, they shoot 53s instead and they lose terribly. That's going to be like the Wemby factor. And I just don't think most voters, because the voters are press, they're not going to notice or care about that.
I need players that are just going to go right at Wemby's chest. Like you want to be in the
they're
paint.
going to happen.
We're just going to hit you.
That's going to happen.
Dead at you.
The NBA is going to do that. And likewise, he's going to get his, but he's also, I'm telling you, there's going to be some night where somebody tries him and it don't work out so well. That's going to happen too.
That's true.
Just go at this dude. Put
I
your
like
shoulder
Scoot.
in his chest.
I'll pick Scoot just because I believe in Scoot. Like, he's got that step. When you watch him play, he's got that Russell Westbrook, that 19-year-old Westbrook step, man. Like, he's just a half a step faster than everybody else.
Boom.
Yeah, he really gets you on your hip, like, before people realize it.
Yep.
Um,
His speed for changing direction and the hesitation, the hezzy. Woo.
and if he can consistently shoot, which has always been his thing, he's not like that's his MO. But in summer league, he was making it rain. Like he was draining stuff.
Mhm.
If he shoots like that, watch out. He'd be a star player.
Indeed. Let's see. Dilfy. He'd like to know, 90s basketball question. He says, had Michael Jordan not retired in 94-95, would the Houston Rockets have won those championships?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Get
Sorry,
fired. You know,
not beating
goddamn
Jordan.
well.
Yeah, it's hard to say
George-
that that's even possible.
Jordan already beat Drexler when he played against him in the Blazers. So him just going to
Yeah.
Houston, it's not gonna
Ruin that whole man's career.
Yeah.
like, and the funny thing about that Houston Rockets team is like, I don't remember anything about Houston before those two teams, and I don't remember shit about them after those two
It
championships.
was Akeem, right?
Yeah, it was Akeem.
I remember that. Akeem
Yeah,
was
I
amazing.
Yeah, Akeem was amazing.
Akeem was amazing his entire career, but as far as that Rockets team, like I don't remember them ever actually being like contenders outside of those 2 years.
Didn't somebody, I want to say, didn't somebody get hurt? Like it was a short-lived roster. Was it Clyde that got hurt?
I mean, Clyde was old at
I
that
think it was
point,
Clyde Drexler.
so he could have gotten hurt, but no, because they were still there when it was him, Barkley, Pippen, and Olajuwon. Like they tried to do that nonsense.
I forgot all about that. You're right. They
Right.
did try that.
So it's like that. I
Clyde
feel like
was
that
old
team.
when he got in the league. He looked like he was about
All right.
50 when he got in the league.
It was Kenny Smith, Olajuwon, Robert Ory, Clyde Drexler,
Yes.
Sam Cassell,
Sam Cassell. Mhm.
Scott Brooks, and a bunch of
man.
other people I don't recognize by their
Sam
names.
Cassell.
Yep.
Now this is a little bit, I mean, this is like very young me. So maybe I'm supposed to know who Chucky Brown is or
Yeah, Chucky Brown. Yeah, I
Chucky
remember
Brown.
all of these
Pete
players.
Chilcutt.
Played-
I don't know what Pete
I
Chilcutt
don't
was
know
bringing
Pete
to the table.
Chilcutt. I
You can't
Chucky
forget
Brown.
Vernon Maxwell,
Bernie
So,
Maxwell was a big.
Otis Thorpe.
He was solid.
Like
my only thing that I
Mario
would
Ellie.
say, I'll just to devil's advocate this. What the hell are the 1995 Bulls doing with Hakeem?
throwing all of the big men they have at him because
Yeah, that's not a good answer.
it's not. But quite honestly, you make Hakeem have to be the one to beat you, and I don't
Might.
think that he was going to do that. Especially when I've still got Pippen and Jordan. Like Jordan is going to find a way. He's gonna will it out.
I
and
kind of
he's
want to go
gonna
watch
shut-
some of those games because I got to tell you, I don't remember a whole. Like, I remember it happening, but like I don't recognize everything about that team.
Hakeem's
it-
gonna be ducking.
Hakeem played
ducking
every
on fucking
game.
Luke Longley.
He
a
played
lot.
every game.
Mhm.
He averaged 8 3-pointers made. What?
No,
That can't be right.
no.
I'm
didn't
looking at
say-
it. Player
what?
totals. Hakeem Olajuwon. I'm on
What?
statscrew.com. Hakeem Olajuwon, and it says player totals. 93-94 Rockets. Played 80 out of 80 games. He started 80 out of 80 games. He played 3,277 minutes. He averaged 3-point average. Are these percentages? No, they're not percentages. So I think this is 3 points attempted, 19. 3 points made, 8. Like what?
The whole season. He made
That's his
8 threes
average,
the
though.
whole season. No. He didn't. No.
Oh.
Olajuwon
can't
wasn't
be right.
shooting threes.
That's what I was
how many
thinking.
he
That's
made
what I
for
was
the whole
thinking.
Season.
Thanks. That's what I was thinking. So it's just 8 the whole season. Okay, because I
He's
was
not a 3-point shooter.
that's what I was like, there's no way. I'm like, what is this? What am I looking at? I gotta get into his game log. I can't. This website sucks. Let me find a different website.
Yeah, for that year, he averaged 27, 11,
Oh, you already have
4
it.
assists, and 2 steals.
27 and 11.
Almost 4 blocks. Yeah, he was a
Wow.
That's
beast.
good.
He was
That's a
incredible.
monster, man.
Yeah, and that's why they won those 2 years.
What
But
was
that
Robert
just
Ory
those
averaging?
2 years. Ori was all coming off the bench. Ori was like the 6th man.
Well, yeah, and he was young at this point.
He was catching lobs, shooting threes. Like he was the excitement off the bench, and Kenny Smith was running the show.
Yeah.
It was a good team. I would have loved to have seen them go up against the Bulls.
I think they
But
could have
again-
beaten them.
But then again, it was just those 2 years. Like they didn't exist outside of those 2 years. Like they just weren't a contender, which is just so odd. Like there was never even a thought of them coming up against the Bulls in any of the other years. Like I don't remember them being like an actual contender outside of those 2 years.
Yeah, I'm reading about it right now.
Hakeem opened the series with 31 and 34.
And that's against Ewing.
And Shaq.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he killed Shaq. He killed Shaq.
Okay.
Yeah.
And didn't so when he came back, the Magic beat Jordan, right?
Yeah, that partial season that Jordan
Yeah.
came back, they lost to Orlando.
Okay. So there's a case to be made that they could have. But they could have beat the Bulls.
If Jordan doesn't retire and you see this team, I still feel like
It's hard to bet against them, right?
Yeah, it's so hard to bet against him
Yeah.
because, quite honestly, again, Jordan had already beaten Clyde. Like, as good as Kenny Smith was, I feel like they would have found an answer for him, and you still got Pippen and Horace Grant. Like, you probably would have put Horace Grant on Akeem Olajuwon.
That's what I was thinking. Actually, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, you got to put Horace
And you
Grant
still
on.
have, and if you
So my
if
question to
need
you
fouls,
is,
you
if,
got Purdue, you
dude,
got
I was
Cartwright.
6 when this happened, so memory's fuzzy as shit. Could Horace Grant do anything against Hakeem? If Shaq
Just-
couldn't,
Just slow him down a little bit.
could he
Because
slow him
again,
down?
Horace-
Because if Shaq wasn't, he got 31 and
thing.
11 on Shaq.
Here's the
It's like
thing.
unheard
You just
of.
ca-
Well,
you also have Bill Cartwright. You got Purdue. Like you've got a bunch of other bigs you just can throw at him just to tire him out and make him have to be the workhorse while Jordan and Pippen take Drexler
Everybody
out
else
of the
out
game.
of play.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put Pippen on Drexler probably.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, Mike was a monster defensively, but there's
Mike
no
would have
need.
probably stepped up to that.
There's no need to put him on him. Like Pippen's got
Right.
that.
Mhm.
He's like, I got it.
yeah.
You know, you put
And
Michael
then-
on Smith.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Nah, you wouldn't put. Yeah. No, you probably wouldn't even put Mike on Smith. You
Damn.
probably put him on like Mario
Kerr?
Ellie. Yeah. Yeah. Because Kenny Smith was like he would hit a 3. He was a point guard. He was just a pure point guard. Like he was 11 points per game. He wasn't an offensive threat in that way.
I've honestly never thought of this one, but I'm really glad you asked the question because this is there's an interesting like debate here.
Oh
Like,
my god!
did
I
he
can't
get out
remember
at
who it is?
Did he get out at the right time?
No, I don't think so because I forgot who.
Is it like
was.
did they
but-
duck him? He's like, oh shit, I gotta just bounce
Nah,
for a year.
Because Vernon Maxwell, Michael Jordan owned him. He would get in Vernon Maxwell's head. Mad Max is what they call Vernon Maxwell. He would lose his cool to the point where it would just self-destruct the team. Jordan would get in that dude's head and it'd just be curtains.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yeah.
I want to see the
still
box
think-
scores from the games.
I still think they would have got him.
It's harder to find. I want to see what Shaq was doing against this team. What was Penny doing? The great, amazing Penny
Losing.
Hardaway. What was he doing against the Rockets?
I think they got swept.
Losing.
Yeah,
got
losing.
swept,
is
yeah.
what
Said
they did.
losing.
Losing is exactly what they
Like
did.
really badly.
Houston
Oh man, that
Rockets
takes me back to the
basic
taco neck
advanced
syndrome.
stats.
Oh man.
They got demolished by the
Mhm.
Rockets
Mhm.
because Shaq didn't know how to guard Olajuwon, and like because Olajuwon was just
Yeah.
that dude. So much that dude that Shaq started to learn from Olajuwon how to be a better center.
Now
This
that
is what made Shaq better.
that's been widely documented and talked, and Shaq's talked about that for a long time about that experience he had against Olajuwon. But the rest of the team, I don't know much about.
Because they didn't learn. That's why you don't know much about him. They're like, all right.
Damn, ESPN didn't even have the box score. I mean, a full box score. What is
It
this,
was
game
an ass
game
whooping.
1?
I remember
Robert
watching.
Ory put up 19, 8, and 3. Hakeem put up 31, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 4 blocks and 2 steals. Dear good gracious.
Hakeem was incredible.
He's filling up the whole stat sheet. He's everything.
Yeah.
You said is it Ellie?
Mario Ellie. Yep,
Mario
Ellie,
Ellie
Bernie
had
Maxwell.
18 points, 3 steals, 4 assists, 5 rebounds as a guard.
Mm-hmm. Mario Ellie
Kenny
was good.
Smith hit 23, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, had 1 turnover.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't
It was
have
a good
shit off the
squad.
bench. Nobody gave them anything off the bench.
Well, Orlando didn't have a bench.
Penny had 26, Shaq had 26, Anderson had 22. They were very,
Nick Ennis was good. Nick Ennis
Yeah, I
was
mean,
really
like-
good.
they looked like they did what they did. It just wasn't enough, apparently.
They
Well,
were
that's
They
what
did
young.
get swept.
They were
Oh,
super young. Yeah, they got swept. Yeah, they were super young.
They got swept.
And
I
they
wasn't
came
joking
up
about that.
against
They were terrible.
veterans. They came up against vets.
Yeah. Wasn't the point guard Scott Skies at that time? I think Penny,
You know, here's the
or
thing.
was Penny still the point?
That's a good question.
They got swept, but like the box scores would lead you to suggest that it was really close. Like, it's really competitive. Like some of these games
Yeah.
are just a couple points.
They were good competitive games.
Yeah.
It's just they just got beat four
Couldn't beat 'em.
straight.
Couldn't beat him.
Couldn't get over that hump. And then that was the end of the Orlando Magic.
Game 3,
That
Olajuwon
literally
had
was.
31, 14, 7, 2, and 2. And Robert Horry is that dude. He gave them 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. He hit 4 of 5 threes.
Ori was great off the bench. He came in and he lit up the stat. He was just a stat stuffer. He got it done, which is why he's got as many rings as he does. Like he's always been like that guy.
Drexler
People-
gave them 25, 13, and 7. And you'll love this score. Kenny Smith gave them 2 points,
Mm-hmm.
9 assists, 2
Mhm.
rebounds. He had no turnovers in 38 minutes.
That's pure point guard right there. Like he was the player coach, like on the court, like directing traffic, calling everything out. He affected the game in so many other ways where he didn't have to score.
I'm learning so
But
much
he
about
could if he
the
needed to.
95 Houston Rockets. I should go back and
They were a
rewatch
great
some of
team.
that.
They were
All
great.
time great team, I would say.
I've always loved watching
Mhm.
old film of Hakeem just doing work.
Yeah.
He was good. Amazing.
And then they just kind of fell off. Like they made it, I think, to the Western Conference Finals 2 years later and lost to the Sonics. And then
They weren't the number 1 seed though, right? Weren't they like an underdog story? They were like the 4th
Oh.
seed or something.
I think they were the fourth seed.
No,
I thought I remember that about them. I thought they weren't like the favorite. That's why everybody thought Orlando was going to win because like
that they were
Houston was
I
like
think they
on
may have been,
borrowed
like,
time.
The 6th seed, I think.
Wow, even man, they're like a Warriors
I think they
moment.
were 6th. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. We've not
Yeah.
we've really not seen anything like that in my time to really paying attention. Right?
Yeah.
We don't really have teams come from that far out and like really You gotta
It's
be-
rare.
like we know
It's-
who's going to be
you
in
have
the
to be the
finals.
Heat. It's only the Heat
Yeah.
can do that.
And again, we're not surprised when the Heat do it because that's what the
I
Heat
think-
do.
I think the year they went against the Knicks, I think they were either the 1 or 2 seed, and then they had dropped to the 6th seed the following year. And then like the next year they made the playoffs, but they didn't make the finals, like the Western Conference Finals. And then I think the year after that they did, but lost to either Seattle or Utah. And then
That West was
they just
stacked
kind of
back then.
the West was stacked. I mean, the West has just been stacked. And then that was when they made after like the Jordan era, then they pick up Pippen, they pick up old ass Barkley, and they try to do this super old Houston team that just absolutely doesn't work. And then that's the end of the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, I always respected Akeem's jumper for a big man and his like little post moves, little twists and
Mhm.
spins and shit. Man, it made it look
Yeah.
easy.
He had it all. He played D. He played every game. Like
Yeah.
it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
great.
And he got his rings for it.
Still hard to bet against MJ though. Like it's just hard to
It's
imagine
impossible. I can't do it.
beating it. Like people have beaten MJ, but like it was not fair.
Mhm.
Like you had to beat him when he had less, and it was still hard to do. he put 80 on Bird. It's like they won, but boy, it took everything they had to win. It's like once the talent became equal, you weren't beating MJ if he didn't like want you to get beat.
Nope.
And like when the Magic did, people made a big fuss about it, and then we saw what happened. Like, and then he ended the Magic.
Yes. Right.
Like it all fell apart. He came back and was like, "You're done here." And then your buddy Penny found out the hard way what Detroit and Cleveland and Indiana and everybody else fucking found out. Like, you can go now.
This is now my conference again. The next 4 years.
Dude was just the Thanos of people's careers. Just ended a whole decade of basketball.
And then LeBron did the same damn thing.
Yeah, but like not the same. No, I can't go that. He didn't do the same thing.
There was nobody.
He ended some, but but Paul Pierce got his, KG got his, Ray Allen got his. People got theirs. Kobe got theirs.
Ray Allen got most of his with LeBron.
Detroit got theirs.
That was before LeBron was LeBron.
Ray Allen got the Celtics. He got 2 Celtics rings.
I thought it was just one. They went twice. I'm pretty sure they only got one.
Oh, they got 3. Paul Pierce is 3, right?
What?
I must be misremembering
this could
something.
This is either my hatred for Boston, but I feel like they only got the one ring.
You might be right.
The one because
I thought
Doc is trash. They got one. They
I
beat
might
the
be
Lakers, and
misremembering.
then they beat the Lakers, then lost to Orlando, and then lost to the Lakers again, and that was the end of that.
Champion in 2008, MVP in 2008. Yeah, it's just the one. I think I was thinking the Pistons.
Yeah, they just
Right,
got
the
the
Pistons.
one.
Yeah.
The Pistons
I think I also might be counting how many times they got by Cleveland. Like they may not have won, but they got by us 3 times.
Yeah, Cleveland beat them and lost to the Spurs, and then lost to the Celtics, and that was LeBron saying, "All right, I'm fucking done with this shit," and then he went to Miami.
He lost to the Celtics, I think, twice, and then lost to the Magic, and then left. The Magic sent LeBron to Miami.
I feel like really, I thought it was the Celtics that sent him to Miami.
No, and the reason I know this I don't need to look up. That Cavs team was the best team. Like it was truly an upset. That Magic team sent LeBron to Miami. I swear to God, if we never played the Magic, I don't think LeBron leaves because I think we win a ring. Because I think I honestly think we stomped the Lakers. We were built. That's the reason why. We were built to play the Lakers and the Celtics. And what we ran into was a recipe for disaster because Orlando played a style that we weren't equipped to play. It was like the perfect storm to end everything that Cleveland was doing because that team was genuinely great. If you look at the stats, if you look at the wins, if you look at how we won, we were toying with people during the season. We were amazing. What we weren't prepared to do, because we had Big Z and Andy as our bigs, we were not prepared to chase people around on the perimeter. Orlando was playing a Warrior-style basketball 8 years before anybody was thinking about it. Like, they were way ahead of the game. And Hito was being like that point forward. Like, the way Orlando played in 2009 is the way the game is played now. That's how everybody's playing. But nobody was playing it back then. Back then, everybody was hack a Shaq and centers and beef and post, and it was a tougher game. And Orlando was having none of that. They were like, we're going to play 5 people on the perimeter. We're going to jack up threes all game long. And they hit just enough of them to beat Cleveland. And had somebody else played Orlando and beat them, I'll lay on my life. Cleveland marches to a ring that year, without a doubt. We had Jameson. We had we had everybody. That team was stacked. We would have crushed the Lakers that year. Crushed them. And I hate that we never got the LeBron versus Kobe because it would have been electric. Like there would have been some games. But great. I don't think the Lakers as a team were prepared to play that Cleveland team. We were stacked at all positions.
Yeah. That Magic team. Rashard Lewis, Hito Turner.
Yeah, they were about it. Like they were they
Dwight.
And LeBron gave them everything. Like he hit game winner. Was it in game 4? He had a game winner from like half court. Like he was literally pulling out everything he had. And it wasn't LeBron's fault. It was Z's fault. They had Z fucking chasing Rashard Lewis out the 3-point line. We didn't have anything else to do. He's trying to guard Dwight Howard one-on-one. You know, like it was a disaster. I watched every minute of every one of those games in complete peril. Was like crying. I hated that so much.
Oh,
Sean Capri
man.
says, question for the show. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Sean, we're talking about 2009 NBA basketball.
Basketball, baby.
Sean Capri, I ask myself that question every goddamn episode.
Oh, come on.
I'm fucking with you. I know what we're talking about. That was a great
Yeah,
finals.
we had Big Z in like his 16th season trying to guard Dwight All-Star, perennial All-Star Dwight Howard.
Yep.
We weren't ready.
Dwight Howard.
Jameer Nelson.
Jameer Nelson, yeah.
We weren't
Jameer
ready.
Nelson was good.
If we played
Shaq
anybody
killed that
else.
man confidence.
Now you guys talk about whatever the hell y'all want to talk about because I gotta go.
See you, man.
So-
It was fun.
It's been fun.
Later,
I'll
brother.
see y'all next week.
Delvin, you can take over the questions.
All right. Now we got that bum out of here. Let's get to these real questions.
Bring on the video games.
All right, let's see.
We won't have Dev to trash everything we like.
Yeah. Here's another question from Mathman1024. This is for Donnie. 'Cause I don't care about this question. Is Alabama in trouble? Is Ohio State for real? What an ending against Notre Dame. I didn't watch any of these games. Is Oklahoma the only remaining obstacle for Texas? All those questions are for you, Mr. Reese. So the floor is yours.
Define in trouble. Like
In
not
peril.
win a national championship in trouble? Because they're not winning national
That's a
championship.
good question. I would say, that. Let's go with that.
Maybe he means like, I think most people would say not make the playoff in trouble. And if that's the case, yeah, I think we could be looking at a year where Alabama doesn't even make the playoffs. And I think some people would probably be upset about that. Probably.
That'd be
Yeah.
bad. That'd be really bad.
I mean, I think it was wise. I think it was good that they got through Ole Miss, because had they not, this could have gotten way worse, like much faster. Like they won that game, and I wasn't sure they were going to win that game, but they still have to play LSU, Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Auburn. And I think they probably lose at least one of those games. So Alabama with a 2-loss season, yeah, people in Tuscaloosa might think that's a crazy, like a rough year. I don't think that's going to be, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I also am not one of these people that think like the sky is falling every time a college football power loses a game. There's a lot of people like that. I think college football fans are just crazy in that regard. They think everybody's supposed to win all the time. Nobody wins all the time forever. It just doesn't happen. Next question is Ohio State for real? That was a crazy ending to the Notre Dame game. Here's the thing. You said you don't watch college football, right?
No.
Ohio State and Notre Dame had an old school slugfest where it was like 10-7 the whole game. In the last minute of the game, Ohio State did a 75-yard drive, and they scored the go-ahead touchdown as clock expired. They were down 4. They couldn't kick a field goal.
That's cool.
Now, here's the thing. They scored the final touchdown on an inside run, and Notre Dame only had 10 people on the field. They were short a lineman. And here's the thing. Ohio State barely got it. They almost got stopped. So I kind of feel like Ohio State stole one. I don't think they were particularly better than Notre Dame the whole game. I think they just got hot at the right time. Is Ohio State for real? Absolutely not. This is the worst offensive line I've seen at Ohio State probably in my lifetime. It's terrible. Like they can't block for shit. And it really messes up a lot of what they do. But the defense is better than it's been in 5, 7, 8 years, maybe. So that might, at the end of the day, it might counter.
Balance out.
Yeah, it might balance out. The big question is, can they beat Michigan? I don't know. Michigan's I hate saying it, but if you're asking me to be like unbiased and fair, Michigan's really good. They're operating at all cylinders. Like it'll take a lot for Ohio State to beat Michigan. It'll be an upset. Can they do it? Sure they can. They've got as much talent as anybody. But like there's a reason you play the game. The best team doesn't always win.
That is true.
Cleveland was better than Orlando, but they lost. So That's why you play the game. But are they for real? Like, are they going to win a national title? Not even a little bit. I would be surprised. I honestly would be surprised if they made the playoff. I don't even think they make the playoff. I'm not sure if they also could lose 2 games. They could lose to Penn State. They could lose to Michigan. They could lose. I know nobody wants to hear this. They could lose to Maryland. I don't think they would, but like, is it impossible? It's not impossible. Maryland could put some points on them, and if Ohio State has a bad day, like, I just don't think they're not the Ohio State buzzsaw that they've been for the last decade. They're not that team. They're younger, they're inexperienced, and they're not as physically mature on both lines. Actually, we don't have the pass rush we've had for years, so it's interesting. We have Ohio State's very gettable this year, I think. I do want to say in general before I ask. Go ahead.
I always appreciate about college football that it always feels like every game matters. Like you were saying, like, oh, they lose 2 games, they might be out of there. Like that's a wild thing to think of. But it's true.
It's interesting you say that, because years ago when we had the BCS, you couldn't lose a game. It was a race for perfection, and every game mattered, and it made every weekend electric. And then when we moved to the playoff, it was like, you can lose 1 game. And then it became less about every week. You still have the big games. You have the big weeks, but the in-between weeks, you're like, we'd be fine. Now that they're going to a 12-team playoff, now the season won't matter at all. Like this, I guarantee you that 9 of the 12 teams will probably be the same 9 out of 10 years. Be the same 9 programs. You know who's going to be there.
I'm thinking like
be Oklahoma, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Georgia. It'd be the same teams. Florida State, Clemson.
But just think it was a juxtaposition between the college teams and the NFL, where NFL teams be like 8-8. And they're like, oh, we're in the playoffs. Like the college, like, nah, you got like one. You can lose like 1 game,
no.
maybe 2.
When we go to the 12-team playoff, I think you may see a team with 3 losses get into the playoff. But probably not, but some years you will see there will be a 3-loss team that makes it. There'll be like a really good 3-loss team, but they might get in.
But it's crazy that you're literally asking for perfection. Like, you have to be like, this good, or you're not.
And that's why
makes it more exciting.
That's why college football fans are crazy. That's what I tell you. Like, there's a crazy reality that they live in where Alabama loses a game and everybody's like, we need to get Nick Saban out of here. He's the greatest college football coach of all time. And they're like, he's over the hill. He needs to get fired. Like, what the fuck's the matter with you people? Like, literally every field should be named after him. He's the best who's ever done it. Not now, of all time, ever. He's the GOAT.
Like the Dallas Cowboys would kill to have like a 1-loss season.
Yeah. Like, it is. And Ohio State fans, honestly, they're the worst. If Ohio State, like right now, Ohio State's troubles that they are overcoming, their fans still, like, it's still not good enough. they're still upset. Like, it is a perfection driven game. But one thing I wanted to say is I do feel like more than ever in the last 20 years, there's a lot more parity in college football. And I believe that's because of NIL. The money that schools are allowed to pay talent now means that all the talent aren't going to the same 5 programs. It's being spread out. Because some of these teams that really care about their football team, they're showing up to kids and like, hey, you can sit on the bench at Alabama, or we can pay you $1 million to come play football for us because we want to win. Like FSU, it's not a shocker that FSU sucked for a decade. And the moment they could start paying players, look who's back on top all of a sudden. Here comes Florida State, right? It's no shocker that Texas, who lost to TCU and Baylor last year, look who's here. Like, these are programs that have money. They've got boosters that want to win. They don't care. They'll give you millions of dollars to win. And I think that's spreading the talent out across the programs
a little bit better.
And I think that's bringing the top back down to the middle of the pack. Right? So like 3 years ago, it was insane to think that Ole Miss could beat Alabama. Like, it was a crazy upset because Alabama they have 3 guys at every position that's better than everybody on Ole Miss's squad, right? That's not the case anymore. Like if you're a quarterback, you've got a lot of options. People pay you a lot of money to come play football. So I think that's a good thing. And it is honestly, for all the changes that's happening in college football that I don't like, that's actually probably the best thing, because that's the college football that I feel like I grew up with. Like there were dynasties in college football when we were younger, but like nobody was ungettable. Like you could beat a team. Like Ohio State could beat Miami. It was going to be hard, but they could beat them. Florida State could lose. Like it felt like when Nick was really on that run, dude, it felt like nobody was ever going to beat Alabama. They were just so far and away better than everybody else.
Yeah, I do.
That USC team, you know, where every talent everywhere, like there's nobody could keep up with them. We don't really see that now. You know, Oregon I told you last week. I've been trying to tell people for weeks. I told my father-in-law a month ago. He's like, oh, Dion in Colorado. I was like, you wait until Colorado plays Oregon. They are about to get smoked.
And
that was
smoked like a pack of cools.
In 15 minutes, that game was over. Like from the moment it started, I was like, I told you. They were better, but it wasn't just talent. Oregon was the worst possible matchup. It's the Orlando Cavs thing all over again. What Orlando likes to do, what Oregon likes to do, like the strength of their team is offensive and defensive line, and they play very physical, and they have like this run zone scheme where they put, 6 linemen on the field that are huge, and they put this little back behind him and he zips by. That's literally Colorado's weakness. That's the one thing they really suck at. And Oregon exploited this shit out of it all day. I mean, they just pushed that team around. I was like, this is going to be an old-fashioned ass whooping.
Yeah, I saw that box score.
They're lucky that like Oregon just kind of took the foot off the gas, because they could have put 70 up if they wanted to.
Yeah, like the Dolphins did.
Yeah. Texas. I don't know about Texas. They've got to play Oklahoma. I don't think Oklahoma can score with Texas. So I'm not sure. I mean, I wouldn't bet on Oklahoma. Like, they can beat them. They got to play Kansas. They're kind of jumpy. TCU sucks this year. I don't know what Kansas State and Texas Tech are doing this year. Texas Tech, I think, sucks. Yeah, and Kansas State's not that great either. Yeah, probably. Well, Oklahoma's probably the last thing touching Tech. Texas might make the playoff this year. I don't think Texas is particularly good, but they're not playing anybody that's going to prove them wrong. So, yeah, they're not going to play anybody that's going to stop them. So, yeah, I think Texas and Oklahoma are in a rude awakening when they join the SEC. These are programs that have been used to winning 12, 13 games a year. Like, they're the team that if they go 12-2, people get angry. And they jump into the SEC, and all of a sudden teams like Ole Miss and Arkansas and LSU and like these teams that aren't even winning the SEC, they can beat Texas. LSU can beat Texas. Georgia can beat Texas. Alabama can beat Texas. Ole Miss can beat Texas. Like there's teams that can beat Texas. Auburn can beat Ole Miss or Oklahoma. Like, not saying they won't win all of them, but like there's multiple losses. Like those teams, fan bases, they're going to have to get used to losing 4 games a year. They're going to have some seasons like that.
Yeah, not going to be happy about that.
And if they have like a really bad, let's say like their star player gets hurt, it could get ugly. You could lose 6 games, 7 games, like 4 can become 7 real fast in the SEC. And I don't think, a team like Texas, they're not used to anything like that. They're like, what? Well, Texas kind of, they went through it, but Oklahoma's never lost like 7 games in a year. So it'll be interesting to see how people adjust to that.
Great answer. All right. Our next question. Which one I want to go to? I'll go to Haley's question. This is a good one. Haley wants to know, what do we think about the streaming services cracking down on password sharing? So what you think, Donnie?
I've been talking for like 10 minutes. What do you think?
I feel like your answer is going to be short. Like, I kind of like, fuck what you want to do. That's what they go to.
Yeah, I mean,
do I like it? No, I don't like it. What the fuck can you do?
I mean, I think it's within their right to do. You can't be mad at them for doing it.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to
Yeah,
just rob
we're not-
them.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do that.
It's like
this is
you
not
can
an
take the
acceptable
same
thing.
question and be like, "Do you think we should just be able to like go to Walmart and just take 2 of everything and only pay for 1?" And like, no, you can't do that.
Should we be still in cable? Probably not. But you got to catch me first.
Right. No, I don't. I think this is within their right to do so, and I think it makes sense that they're doing it. Now, I think this wasn't the case for Netflix. They started cracking down, and they got more subscribers. Like more people paid for Netflix.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen to everybody. So I think if more people
No, it's not.
if more people subscribe, I think some of these companies might get humbled by the demand for their product. They're like, "Oh, we'll turn it off. More people subscribe," and then nobody comes back.
It's some of these people that need to relax. Like if you're Hulu, you might want to chill out. Like we don't like you that much.
Paramount Plus, you may not want to go too hard on this because people may not pay. People may not give a shit about this.
You might give out passwords yourself. Like, hey, here you go. Like, no, like,
You might need to
you
ticket the
can't
arena.
talk shit. Yeah. Like, no.
Hey, speaking of ticketing the arena, can we not want to move on from Haley? I saw a rumor that did Tony Khan buy New Japan?
No.
Okay,
That's a rumor.
where did that come
He did not
from?
buy New Japan. I don't know what the fuck that came.
I saw somebody was like Tony Khan bought New Japan. It was like a YouTube thumbnail, and I didn't click on it. But I was just like, that's insane if he did that. Wow.
Unless it happened tonight and I missed it. No, that didn't happen.
Okay. All right. Because I was like, that's nuts.
Yes, but only time password protection annoys me is when I'm somewhere else and like, you're not in your home. Like, fuck off. I'm the one paying for this. Let me use my service.
Yeah.
Like, like if I go to a hotel and I'm trying to use like Netflix, like, oh, you're not at your home Wi-Fi. You will fuck off with this shit. I am trying to watch movies. But
I listened to, there's an entertainment podcast on The Ringer. I forget what it's called. I think it's called The Town. They talk about like Hollywood topics. And I'm not really into like cinema culture. Like I don't really follow like projects and directors and writers and all. I don't really get into that. But I've listened to this podcast for a couple years and I really like it because the guy that does it is just, he's like a good podcaster. But I don't even know who he is, but he must have some stroke because he gets a lot of good access. Like the guy that runs Disney, like has been on the podcast like multiple times.
Oh,
so like
Bob Iger?
Iger, yeah. It's like, so like he gets access to people. He's been covering the streaming thing and the case that he makes. And I don't think this is really like news to most people, but for somebody like me, I've never had cable. I cut the cord. I was like the first cord cutter. I cut the cord when my consoles would let me, like back in 2006. Like I've always ripped off other people for sports. And I've always just like, I used to go to like sports bars to watch games because I'm like, I refuse to pay for cable. And
I only have cable for SpongeBob and wrestling. Literally.
you can get SpongeBob without cable and SpongeBob on Max or something. I've got services that have SpongeBob on it.
It's on Paramount Plus, but I don't think
That's
the new
it.
episodes go on there till like later.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like later.
Doing
so
like
like,
the WWE thing.
yeah.
What's I saying? Oh yeah. So he's painted this picture about how all of these entertainment brands have lost millions of dollars over the last decade because they've basically been waging war against the cable package and trying to keep up with Netflix. And Netflix is essentially putting them all out of business just by like outlasting them. Like all these companies like HBO and Warner and Paramount, like they put all these millions of dollars into creating a streaming service that like nobody wants. And they're all realizing real quick how little demand they have for their product and how much more money they got from the cable bundle. That everybody would buy this cable bundle and everybody got a piece of this pie. It was sold to hundreds of millions of people because people would just subscribe to the whole bundle because they just wanted to watch like the one show. And now that you can just watch the one show, right now that you can just watch the one show, people are just subscribing to the thing that has the one show. And now it's cutting a lot of people out. And I don't think that's surprising, but like hearing more of the business details about how this decade-long thing has hurt it's like we're getting much less movies and TVs made because of it. Even though these companies are spending billions of dollars, they're not making enough, so they just keep cutting product. Like we're getting less things. And I never thought of it like that because it feels like we have more things to watch than ever before. Like there's always entertainment everywhere. But apparently that's not quite the case.
Yeah, because everybody's trying to build stuff for their network.
Yeah.
A lot of these companies' networks aren't working.
And they're building
That's
things
why
that like
Peacock
nobody's seeing. Nobody's watching.
Yes, no
nobody's
one's watching
paying
it.
for.
I think Peacock's a perfect example of that. Like, I don't know too many people talk about the Peacock shows. I know people talk about the network, like WWE Network stuff on there. I know people talk about like Bel Air. But I
Yeah.
can't think of many shows people like, hey, I watched this new show on Peacock. Like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of networks
I like
gonna have
Peacock,
that same type of thing.
But Peacock
Peacock's
is not,
decent.
for me, Peacock is WWE. Like I pay for Peacock. I'm a Peacock subscriber. I pay for Peacock for like 3 things. Well, 4 things. WWE, first and foremost. You get all the WWE pay-per-views. That's worth it by itself. Then it has The Office. So I watch reruns of The Office.
Yes.
And it has that 70s show. And I watch reruns of that show. And I don't have to get up and put my DVDs in. That's worth my $5 a month. The other reason I'm subscribed to Peacock is that they get a pretty decent clip of like new movies. So every so often you'll have like a brand new movie that hits the service that like just came out of theaters will drop into Peacock pretty quick.
Yeah, what's the one with the horror film with the girl?
Which one? Megan?
I watched it. Yeah, Megan. That came on there quickly. Quite a few of them came on there quickly.
Renfield is on there. Didn't they just do Fast X? Didn't Fast X just hit Peacock?
Fast X just hit there, yeah. A lot of that
so
stuff
like
hits there pretty fast.
Yeah, they get so like that's worth it. I kind of look at it like that. Like I get WWE pay-per-views, I can rewatch some old shows, and 4 or 5 times a year I get a new movie I wanted to watch and I don't have to pay for, and that is worth my subscription.
Yeah, the ones that I usually hear people talk about, they talk about Disney Plus, talk about HBO Max, and they talk about Netflix.
And I'm the worst offender when it comes to that because I've got the Disney Plus ESPN thing, and I don't watch shit on Disney Plus. I don't even know what's there. It's not for me. I subscribe to that for my kids. It's for my kids and my wife.
I have the whole thing because I get it for free. I get the Disney Plus, the Hulu.
Yeah, so do
ESPN.
It's like $15 a month or something like that.
Yeah, I get it for free with Verizon.
Oh,
I
nice.
only watch the Disney Plus part of it. I forgot that I have ESPN.
So the funny thing is I'm like the opposite. Like I just watched the Hulu horror movie that came out, which we'll talk about later this week. I just watched it, and it's on Hulu for free. I've actually used the ESPN Plus more than I have Disney Plus.
I'll put it to you this way. My sister called me last Saturday, and she was like, "Hey, your nephew's football game is on ESPN.
Nice,
Are
yeah.
you gonna watch him?" Like, huh? Like, yeah, it's on ESPN Plus. Don't you have ESPN Plus? I'm like, I do. So let me check. Sure enough, I had it. I logged in. There he is playing football.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I had it. I had to like look up the password and shit like that.
Peacock also is getting because the Big Ten signed their deal with, I think, was it Fox? I've been finding more games on Peacock. Like they've got football games on Peacock all of a sudden. Like Ohio State, Maryland was on Peacock or whatever. I was like, what? This is wild.
Yeah.
So
you can watch it on Paramount Plus too. Paramount Plus has like a live function. They have some college.
Yeah, they get a couple games too. I've clicked over there, and I think the Peacock game had the Ohio State Notre Dame game. I think NBC has Notre Dame, so that makes sense. I may have those confused, but yeah, like you can just watch some sports over there too. So I pay like $5 a month for Peacock, so I think it's pretty good for what I get out of it.
Yeah, Peacock's pretty good.
But I don't watch it at all for
question.
like original content, like anything new.
Yeah,
like I don't even know what any of that's about. I don't care.
After Bel Air, I was like, I'm not watching this. That's literally like, I'm not watching this.
The economics really makes it sound like some of these companies should get together and recreate the streaming bundle in a subscription, in a streaming package. But it sounds like maybe they can't work enough out to figure that out. Maybe they've gone too far, but like it really seems like, because it wasn't that so much that people hated the cable package. I think it was the delivery of the service. People wanted to cut the cord. They wanted to go over the internet. They wanted to be easier. They want to get paid for TV set top boxes and installation fees and all, right? It was more convenient.
Yeah.
So I think if like they could ever get together and be like, all right, we're going to have Hulu, Peacock, Paramount, Max, and something else, and we're going to put it all together, and you're going to pay us $70 a month for all of it. I think people would jump on board with that. But it's like, they can't stop fighting each other on who gets the bigger piece of that pie to like make that happen. And that might be several of these companies undoing.
We had something like that. It was called PlayStation View.
Oh God, you were it was great.
PlayStation View was so good.
It was so good. Like it's 1 year. It was like so the great. 1 year that we had it.
It was so great. It was the best streaming service you could possibly have, and they just like
I loved it.
They just killed it.
It was like $50. So I think it was $40 when it first started. My favorite thing about it was that it allowed you to self-disclose your zip code. It wouldn't automatically pull it from your route or anything. So if you wanted to be in Cleveland and watch local Cleveland broadcasts, you were a zip code away from doing that. And I was like, why doesn't every service let us do this? And I subscribed to View until they changed that. And then I
did too.
I unsubscribed and I never subscribed again.
I was there until the ship went down. Because even when they started, I think they got rid of like in the last days of View, like I think all the MTV shows, like all the Viacom. All the Viacom network shows got pulled off of there. So Nick was gone, MTV was gone. A lot of shit was going. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going down with this shit, baby. Because this like View was great. The interface was great. Everything about it was excellent, and they just killed it. That's one of the few things that PlayStation did that I loved to the max. And they like this is going like
they kept raising the price.
I miss View.
Like every year they would raise it again, and they raise it again, and they raise it again. I think
at the end it was like $79.99.
Yeah, it was like $80. That's a lot. I've tried. So like I think I would be open to like bundling all of my subs together and just paying one fee, but it would have to have like the sports part, and that's like where you can't get. Like everybody wants to do it themselves to keep all the money and cut out the middleman, but that's hurting them. It's a net negative to everybody except for like Netflix because they're too big to fail. And people talk about the amount of money they rack up, and it doesn't matter because of the amount of income that they bring in, like their influence. It doesn't matter. They're it. Like they're the one, and while everybody else will just start to fail away while they just take up. Like we already see it now. HBO is licensing their stuff to Netflix. Just put it on Netflix. So
they're gonna do the thing now. HBO just when they kind of announced it that they're doing live sporting events.
Wow, that makes sense.
Like you pay like $10 more a month, and you get live sporting events and. It's not a rumor. They're working on getting AEW.
See, we need the cable bundle to come back in a streaming package. We just need somebody to like figure this out. I'm tired of like stopping and starting and figuring out like oh man, I didn't even think about this. I know you don't watch golf, but if I had to tell you how fucking difficult it is to be a golf fan these days, I don't watch every tournament either, but there are a handful of times a year where I want to watch the golf tournament. And I don't know what the PGA Tour is doing, but it's a disaster. Because what they do is they break each day. So there's golf tournaments. Golf tournaments are 4 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every day is broken down into windows. So like ABC will have the golf tournament from like 12 to 2. And then NBC has it from like 3 to 5. And then the Golf Channel has it for the post game. And then if it's a major,
that's terrible. Then
they've got it. And then like the streaming package, you can only watch holes 15 through 18. And if you want to watch any of the other holes, you have to buy the subscription. Like it's a mess. Literally, if you've never heard it, just Google how to stream X tournament and just look at one of like the Bleacher Report articles that list all of the different ways you can try to watch golf. There's like 5 different options every day, depending on what time of day it is. It's a fucking mess.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
that sounds terrible.
And it's a big part of me is, and I'm saying a lot of this as a sports fan. As a sports fan, I think it's hurting sport. I think social media in general is like hurting sports viewership. But like,
Oh, without doubt.
we grew up as sports fans largely because we would turn on the TV and could watch sports. Like, you can't really do that anymore. Like, there is, like, not everybody just has access to see it. And I wonder, like, what does that do for, like, fandom going forward? Like, are we replenishing with new Heat fans and new Cavs fans if they can't watch the games? Right? Like, are we making new golf fans if they've got to have 18 different channels to watch the damn tournament? Or are those people being like, I don't have time for this, I'll watch something on YouTube? That's probably what they're doing.
Yeah. Or they'll just watch the highlights on YouTube.
The highlights.
Or Twitter.
TikTok.
Yeah, they won't
Right?
watch the game.
Yeah. And I don't think if you do that over a lifetime, I don't think that's a good thing for anybody. And it's a net negative. You do that for 60 years, that's a problem. You do it for 10 years while you're transitioning into something, okay, I get it. But like, you do that for 60 years and that's not good. I think that sees like ratings decline across the board because you're not creating that new fan.
Well, that's what's happening with wrestling on both sides of it. You'll see like the SmackDown show, like the Rock.
I can't watch AEW.
SmackDown rating was a good. Yeah, because you just watch all the highlights.
No, I can't watch it. I don't have access to watch AEW. I don't have TNT, and it's not a part of any of my streaming package.
See, there you go.
I can't watch it, and I don't think that they don't have a plan unless I missed an announcement. They don't have a subscription where I can pay to watch it. Right?
They have.
That's
I
Fight,
don't think you can,
but it's out of market.
but it's not. Yeah, it's not in the U.S.
Right. So I can't. I the only way I can keep up with AEW is what I see on YouTube. That's it. I can't watch it.
And that's the problem. A lot of people out in the market, and then like I was saying about SmackDown. SmackDown had The Rock come back, and they're like,
That
"Oh,
was
it
a
didn't get what we
huge moment,
expected."
man. That was big.
They looked at the ratings like, "It didn't get what we expected to get." But then you look at like the YouTube.
Nobody knew he was going to
numbers.
be there, and how many people have access?
Yeah, the YouTube numbers are like ridiculous. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like, oh,
And I think
this is the era now.
I think everybody eventually wants to go direct to consumer. I think that's like the people's plans. Like, people are like if you like Ohio State football, you will just pay Ohio State to watch Ohio State football. But that's not good for like the sport. Because what that does is that just incentivizes the haves versus the have-nots. Then the teams with the brands, the teams with the bigger following will become more successful than everybody else. So how do you close the gap? You can't.
Yeah.
How does Oklahoma State exist in that world?
How does any school that doesn't have money exist in that world? Like
Exactly.
FIU.
So I've always thought like I would love for somebody to come together and put like a sports only streaming package together, like just sports channels and coverage, or
That'd be cool.
like none of the other stuff that costs so much money. They're like, yeah, we're not doing any of that. We have wrestling, we've got golf, we've got football and basketball and baseball, and that's it. You just pay us to watch sports.
I think that's a good idea.
It's a crazy landscape. I know we talked about this for a lot, but like there's a lot to talk about. And I don't know what it's going to look like in 20 years. It might just all be, again, it might just all be like Amazon and Facebook by the time we're done. They might just buy everything. Netflix,
That is very
YouTube,
likely.
Google.
At least I think so.
I tried. I'll give you one last point. I tried with Sling and I tried YouTube TV. And the problem is they don't have enough content, I think, to warrant their costs. Like, yeah, YouTube has the NFL now. You got to pay them $400 to watch it. So that's a problem. And then YouTube TV sucks. It's like the worst of basic cable. Like they have basic cable and it's like reruns of Cheaters and like old Comedy Central. Like you can tell that all these channels have taken their premium content elsewhere. Yeah, it's like everything on them is like midday Saturday fill in the blank programming that you saw on cable TV when you were sick in 2008.
Yeah. I'm good on that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like this isn't very good.
Yeah, YouTube TV's not good. And I liked
Sling's the
Sling.
same way.
It's not great, but I was able to, when I had Sling, I was able to watch Impact on it. Like, oh, that's cool. I can watch Impact now.
Yeah. Yep.
But,
And even
Impact
they do it the
and Ring of
worst
Honor
way,
matter.
where
They do.
you have Sling, but they split it. You've got the Disney channels versus the Fox channels. And if you're somebody that wants to watch both, then you have to pay full price for both, even though that includes, just like the cable bundle, like half channels you don't care about,
Yeah, shit you don't want to watch.
that you don't want to watch, but you have to. like you still have to have. It's like, no. Can I just pay you for like 4 channels instead of
The ones I want.
$80 for all of these channels? It's like I wanted TNT for AW, Fox for Big Ten football, and like Vice, and the only way I could do is pay you $80 a month. I was like, really?
Yeah, that's
Can I just?
that's no good.
How about I give you $30 a month and you let me just like pick 10 channels?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Like, let me pick the channels and that's it.
Yeah. Like even if it was really small, I think I could get by with that. But you know how, again, the cable bundle, they do that so you inflate all the others. But the result is I just don't subscribe at all. Now you have no
just say,
money.
Fuck this. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
So I watch shit on TikTok and stuff illegally. I find illegal streams on YouTube and shit like that. Yeah. Yep.
That's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I have a Twitter
Let's
account
get to our
just so I can see like sports stuff. I don't even use it. I don't even tweet from
A
it.
lot
It's
of
just a
sports stuff.
burner account. I have an anonymous account.
and a lot of
Just so I
stuff
can
comes
see
on in the whole
Clips and highlights. 'Cause
whole game.
So here's the thing. The NFL's got it down. It's hard to watch NFL content outside of their broadcast. Like college and stuff, you can find it around. It's on streaming and stuff. The NFL's not. Like you either pay for the NFL or you cannot watch it. So Twitter is how I like see the Browns most week. Because people post clips of every highlight play like instantly as soon as it happens. I go in the Twitter, I click Browns, and
I see that.
here's every play.
I see that all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
at least till Elon screws it up,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to happen.
Oh.
All right. Our next question. 'Cause we got 4 more to go.
We don't have to do these all.
Well, since we're
We could just like do one and just catch the rest of them next week. It's 3 hours. I realize we talked about this Haley
know
question
what?
for a long time.
that was a good question, Haley. Let's do one more then. Let's see which one should we do.
Okay.
We'll do this one, the TPR question, because I don't think Dev cares about this. So TPR asks, just saw the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the first time. Yeah, sorry about that. And the last 30 minutes
You
of that
watch your
film were
mouth.
Absolute truth. We've had this conversation this week.
We didn't really converse
the
it,
last-
and I was saving it for Decade of Horror. But if you want to do this now, we can do this now. But how dare you?
We'll save for Decade of Horror. My
Okay.
thoughts on it.
Okay.
He said, "What's a movie that comes
better
to
come
mind
ready.
for y'all?"
Because that's just
I
not going to
am.
go unchecked.
That goes totally off rails in the third act, for better or worse. That's a great question.
And Sean, I actually think Sean probably agrees with you. I have some insider information on some movies that Sean's been watching, and I don't think you like Texas Chainsaw either. And I get it. I do. I will tell you this. I will concede. I understand why you probably think the things you think, and it's because you have seen every other fucking horror movie under the sun. But you have to keep in context. And I'll tell you this for Sean
Context is
again.
important.
You have to keep it in context that before Texas Chainsaw, none of that shit existed. Like it literally
That is true.
created what you know today as the horror movie. Before Jaws,
Yeah.
before Elm Street, before Halloween, before all of those things, Texas Chainsaw. It changed what we thought of horror movies forever. Sean says I'm misrepresenting him. I might be projecting, but
Well, wait till you hear what I got to say about Amity. Amity,
because that shit is like, what is Texas, like 75?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's so much older than people think it is too. Like it is.
It's old.
and
yeah.
and it's got like, I mean, like beautiful horror, like indie route. It's such a cheap film. You know, gives it definitely that grunge horror film. But before Texas Chainsaw, horror films were like Saturday morning monster movies, like Bride of Frankenstein and The Body Snatchers. You know, like, and not that those are bad. Hitchcock is The Birds. Oh, dude, Texas Chainsaw like shook the country. Like people are like wanting to ban this shit. You know, like he
That's
did
why.
what to her and put her on what? And the crazy
they
thing,
legit lie. They're like, this is based off a true story. Maybe.
no, that's true. No, that's true.
Isn't it? I heard it's not based off a true story. I think they said it's loosely based off of what's the serial killer name?
Yeah,
Ed Gein.
that's true.
I think his name.
Mm-hmm. And he was a dude. He was a sick. He's a sick fuck. Like, yeah, he killed all kinds of people. Now it wasn't like shot for shot. It wasn't like the same story. No, but it's based on. But he would, if I recall, and I just pulled it up, but I'm not going to read all. It's a lot. Jesus, if I recall, he would skin people and then like turn them into like lampshades and curtains and shit in his house. That's a real thing he did for like a decade. Oh yeah, like the leather face part. That's real.
Okay, that's the part that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
so I need to see an Ed Gein documentary.
yeah, how he did it and the family and all that. That's not like it wasn't like a retelling of the story, but they used his murders as inspiration to create this universe, this thing. And the thing that I often remind people, because I love this movie. You know this. If you've listened to Decade Horror, everybody knows I love Texas Chainsaw. The first one, the original, I think is the perfect horror movie. Like it sets the stage. It creates. I don't want to be too hard on it, but I'm sure there might be another one that I'm forgetting. But I think for a lot of people, it creates the modern slasher film. Like the film that created all these horror icons. They all owe themselves to Tobe Hooper and Texas Chainsaw. That's the movie.
I agree with that 100%.
And if you put yourself in 1975 and what a different world it was, and how conservative everybody was, and not just conservative like in what we think of conservative, I'm talking about like in society. You know, like how little was being done. Texas Chainsaw was basically a snuff film to these people. Like they looked at Texas Chainsaw like it was 10,000 times worse than Hostel. You know, and it's really not that gory at all because
it's very tame,
because it's implied horror, and that's the beauty of it. That's what makes Tobe Hooper special, is because he sets up these terrible things, right? They're going to hang this person on a meat hook, and then right as they're about to do it, camera cuts away. So you, the viewer, envision in your head what you think that looked like, and that becomes the mythology about this movie that makes all these people for decades tell everybody about how awful and gross and horrible the movie is, because they're literally telling you like what their minds were inserting. And again, I'm geeking out right now, and I don't mean to. That is fair. It's a beautiful, like it's the best. It's the best movie. And the only thing that I hate about Texas Chainsaw is how they've butchered this series ever since. Like, just tried to kill it at every turn.
Well, Donnie, let me ask you this question. As Captain Awesome asked the question to you. Jeepers Creepers is my all-time favorite horror movie. How do you rate it, Donnie?
How Captain Awesome, if I might, and you can deny me this request, if I may. We record Decade of Horror on Friday. I've got 2 days to record Decade of Horror with Delvin and Josh.
Yes.
Maybe give me a chance to rewatch it. I haven't watched Jeepers Creepers in maybe 15 years. I think I watched Jeepers Creepers 2 maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, but not the first one. And I hope I'm remembering that. There's a second one, right? No, like 3?
Yes, there is. There's like 3.
I'll tell you this off the top of my head. It's not my favorite, but I don't necessarily don't like it, but I don't think it's special. Calling it your all-time favorite, I mean, that's a hot take.
I will answer this question on Decade of Horror. What you talking about?
Can we save it? Actually, I'll take it. Yeah. I'm going to take it. I'll add it to my notes now. I'll add it right now to our Decade of Horror notes, and I'll see if I can get to it. I can't promise you, but give me a chance.
I have strong feelings about Jeepers Creepers.
Because I gotta.
I will.
Go ahead.
I will answer them on Decade of Horror when we talk about it.
Because I gotta get.
I'm not gonna say.
I'm not gonna get to. I'm not gonna get to every movie that I wanted to, but there's one more that I've got to watch before then. I got to get one more in, and then if I can get Jeepers Creepers in before then, I'll try. Maybe I'll try to watch Jeepers Creepers tomorrow before my wife gets home, and then watch the movie I want to watch with her. And if not, then Friday afternoon I'll try. I haven't seen Insidious yet, and I got to see it before we talk. Before we do the show.
I think that's on streaming now.
It's available on video on demand. I don't think it's on a streaming service yet. Or I haven't seen it. I keep checking.
I haven't checked. I thought I saw it on a streaming service. I might have just seen it on Voodoo on demand.
I did watch Talk to Me last night.
What did you think? Oh, we'll save it for Decade of Horror.
We'll save it for the pod. But I did watch it. Yes. So that was the movies that I wanted to get in before we recorded was The Nun, The Nun 2, Talk to Me, and Insidious. And The Nun 2 is not available yet. So that'll be another one I didn't get to. And then we've got The Exorcist coming up in October. There's a couple new ones that are coming out that won't be out until after we record the show. So
the one I want to watch comes out on the day we're recording. So I'm definitely not gonna be watching. That's Saw.
Yeah, I won't even watch that. I'm just not that into Saw, and I hate that.
I love the Saw series.
Most people do, and I get it. I see. That's it. I like the first two. It's very similar. It's almost right there with Scream. Like I really like the first couple, and then the series goes in direction I just don't want to go anymore.
I like the first two, and the rest kind of feel like how I feel about Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, this is just here. I'm just watching it now.
And again, not to do this now, we can save this for the pod. But I think generally, maybe if we can just tease folks, I'm excited to have you on the pod because my impression from talking to you over the years is I get the impression that you're more into the gore than I am. And it's not that I don't love gore. I love gore, but I don't like gore for gore's sake. And I think that's the interesting. I love a good gory movie. You think of Audition or Inside. I'm a Martyrs. Fuck yeah, let's tear it up. But Hostel and Saw, they just go places. Terrifier, they're just doing it just to see if they can get you to turn away. I need motivation to go that far with it. Give me a reason to tune in and watch.
I like the larger than life.
Yeah, you're into the effects. You're that was cool.
The larger than life villains.
Yeah.
In horror films, the Jasons, the Freddys, the Slashers.
Yeah, and I love that too. The slasher I like, but again, motivation to do it.
I like the motivation and stuff like that too. It just depends on the character. I like the characters in horror movies. So it's gonna be really Decade of Horror is gonna be really good. We got a lot. I think we got with the people we have on there and the taste we have. It's gonna be really interesting. I watched. I was surprised to watch a lot of horror movies this year.
I
watched a lot of horror movies this year.
I've watched so many.
I didn't even realize that.
I'm over 50.
Overall, I the list down, but
I'm 27 for 2023 movies. And then I'm over 50 if you include all the older stuff I've watched too.
I think I'm in the mid 20s, maybe 30. Because it's stuff I watched. I forgot I watched that this year.
I'm actually kind of surprised of how many I've watched. I told my wife that, every year I sit down and I make a list, get my little Sean pen click. I do my little spreadsheet. My wife makes fun of me. She's like, I can't believe you do a spreadsheet. Because normally I never plan anything. But for this, I take this very seriously. It's a sacred time to me. And I want to do a little bit of everything. So I plan it out. And I could watch on my original list that I set down, I could watch 3 movies in October and have everything finished. I'm ahead of schedule. We've plowed through most everything. I'm going to watch things that aren't on my list this year just because we've watched so many. I'll start working on next year's list.
So you got through most of it, yeah.
But I don't watch TV and stuff.
Start watching movies.
You watched. I don't watch
TV.
This is literally all I watch. This is all I watched for months. It's just been horror movies. That's all I watched for 3 months.
Yeah, I watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, I don't.
and a lot of times when I see a lot of good horror movies I remember from the past, I just buy the 4K of it. Like I bought the 4K of Texas Chainsaw with a Steelbook edition. Like
Nice.
I remember liking it. I say I want it. Steelbook
Yeah.
looks dope, by the way.
I
Great
rebuy. I'm such a sucker. I rebought movies I already own at Walmart because they had
I
cool
do too.
cases. Did you see those
I do
cases
too.
I posted?
Yes.
Yeah, I bought like
I
5
bought
of them.
The Nightmare on Elm Street one.
Just because they
I bought the
look
Nightmare on Elm
cool.
Street one because you posted it.
I was
They do
like,
look
this
cool.
is awesome. I want this on the shelf. They're like, don't you already own these? I was like, I own the collector's edition of these, and I'm still going to get them again.
Yeah, I do the same.
Horror
thing.
movies are the only thing that I do something like that for. I think it's like dumb that way. Kind of games, like I'll buy a game
do it.
digitally that I already own on another platform. So I guess it's kind of the same, but like horror movies, I'll literally buy the same movie I already own on the
I
same
do
format.
it with certain steelbooks. Like Black Panther had some excellent steelbooks for it, so I bought both of those
Mm.
for Black
Yeah, I'm
Panther
excited.
2, and I bought both of the ones for Spider-Verse.
And this would be a good way to close the show. I am excited for listeners that maybe don't know. We created a podcast, a side podcast a few years ago that we called Decade of Horror, where Josh and at the time Lucas used to be a part of the team. We counted down every year from 2010 to 2020, because I think it was 2020. We went through every year and talked about our favorite horror movies of every year. And then we ranked them. And then we would pick one. And at the end, we then compiled that list and organized in what we thought were like the 10 best horror movies of the decade. And not that I think anybody would agree with our list. It's all subjective. Everybody doesn't come up with their own list. But it was just a lot of fun going through each year and just seeing what was a good year, what was a bad year. We all got to kind of learn a little bit of things that everybody likes. Like the thing I remember is Josh doesn't like horror movies that involve like kids. Like he could care less if kids are getting hurt. So like that never really did much to him. I really like the classics, I think, more than most. I'm really into like all of the icons that you talk about, but like I generally like 70s and 80s horror more than everything else. I could probably just watch 80s horror for the rest of my life and be happy.
I can too.
Yeah. And Lucas was all about like the slow burn and psychological horror, you know, that type of more of the artsy horror. And then we all had things that we loved. Like we all loved Hereditary and we all loved Midsummer. I think I love Midsummer more than most. And then Josh and I both just adore Evil Dead, which we get to talk about on Friday. So I'm excited. We haven't talked about it at all.
Yes, we do.
So it's one of my favorite things. Horror movies are maybe my most geekable subject in my life. This is something that I just love to do. It's my favorite thing is to watch horror movies. So it's the one time a year. I think of all the podcasts that we've ever done, I think I've probably put in the most energy into Decade of Horror. So this is...
And I will say this for people. One of the reasons why I like Decade of Horror so much is you're going to hear something, a movie that you probably never heard of. It's going to come up.
We're pretty exhaustive. Yeah, like
Yes.
that's a good point. I'm going to interrupt you, but like if you're thinking that we're just going to talk about like 5 horror movies, you are sorely mistaken. Like every year we go through 30, 40, 50. Like it's a long show.
Yes. Yes. And then you're going to hear something like, I need to write this down so I can check it out. And 9 times out of 10, you're like, this is amazing. This is just what they were talking about. I always like go back to old episodes of Decade of Horror just for stuff I missed to go back and watch it.
See,
this is something I want to watch.
I got to tell you, Delvin, that makes me so happy. Like I'm very flattered to hear that because like that was the goal. The goal was never to create what we thought was like the end all be all movie land. That wasn't at all. The goal was to just share our love for these movies, but also to provide like a listener like options. Like, hey, these are the movies we like. Here's why we like them. Let's talk about them a little bit. Give you a synopsis and stuff like that. And then, you know, just give you lists. And I know Sean for most years would always be like, I got to write all this down. So this year, the plan is to actually include lists. So I have a list. I have a list of movies that I'm watching like for the year that are ranked. If you want to watch new movies. And then I just have like a watch list of recommendations, like a I'm kind of treating it like, like Blockbuster used to have like the staff picks. I've got staff picks list where I'm just going to throw in some different flavors, different genres of horror movies that I really like to let you just pick one, try one, give Donnie's recommendations a try and see if you like it, or Delphin's or Josh's.
Decade of Horror is how I found Train to Busan, and I absolutely love that movie.
The best. It's so good.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
I love it so much. They were like, hey, it's a sequel to this. I'm like, nah, I don't need to watch the sequel.
Oh, I watched it, and it's not good.
I didn't watch it.
It's not good.
Everybody tells me it's not that great. So
it's so bad.
I said I'll just stay with the one I watched.
What was that horror movie I watched last year that was kind of like Train to Busan?
I gotta look at my
hang
list.
on. I gotta find it. Because now that you said that, I want to ask you if you've ever watched it.
Just in case I didn't.
Yeah, like if you like Train to Busan, you might like it. I think it was on Shudder, but that may not be the best. Shudder doesn't give you a like movies either. Damn it. I watched I think a Korean zombie movie last year.
Those are really good. They make
Best zombie movies in 2022. How about we give that a try and see what happens? And it was pretty gory. Not too much, but kind of gory. Army of the Dead, Blood Quantum.
I watched the TV show. I think it's called All of Them Are Dead. That was on Netflix. That was a Korean zombie film in the school. That was excellent.
Yeah. No, actually, I know that. That wasn't it. But that's pretty good. I've seen that one too. I'll have to find it. Maybe I'll tell you on Negative War. I don't have it on me right now. It was a pretty popular, not popular. It was like an indie, like a sneak peek kind of an underdog pick. I thought it was last year.
I like it. It's on a train?
It might have been 2021. It was in a city. I think there was a part of it that took place on a train. It was in a city. Hey, maybe we can do this. Movies like Train to Busan. That would probably bring it up. Because it is Train to Busan-ish. Yeah. It was definitely not Peninsula. That movie sucked.
Yeah, I haven't even watched it. Once everybody told me it wasn't good, I didn't even bother watching.
God, it was so bad. It was such a letdown because Train to Busan is so excellent. Do you ever watch the Americanized version? That's out, right?
I have not watched that.
I think it's out. Is it? I thought it came out, and I just honestly, that was one. I think we talked about it when it was announced on Decade of Horror years ago when they announced they were going to do that. I couldn't be less interested in something like that.
I agree.
There's no reason to remake that movie. I don't care if it's good or not. Like, I just don't even want to. It's like the Space Jam. Like, I don't even put that in my mind. I don't even leave it alone. Anyway, I don't want to hold up.
Last Train to New York.
No.
Is that it? Yeah.
That's not it. This is gonna hurt me. It's gonna bother me that I can't remember and I can't think about it. And now I'm wondering if it was even like, I think it was on Shudder, but now I'm wondering if it was like on Netflix or something. I don't think so. Like, I'm upset that I can't just go to Shudder and tell Shudder to give me all of the zombie movies that they have. Like, there's not an option. It pisses me off. Hang on. We're gonna stay here.
Yeah. The last Train to New York got delayed, apparently. That's the Train to Busan American version.
And even if it was on Shudder, it could be removed by now. My Shudder list is deep. But if I liked it, if it's still on there, I probably still have it in my list. So you let me scroll this real quick. I might find it real quick.
Okay.
I'm just remembering so many good movies. Dark and the Wicked, Host. God, Shudder's got some good stuff. People need to watch.
Oh, here's a list right here. 20 movies to watch if you love Train to Busan.
I tried scrolling through that. I didn't see anything. Nothing that got my mind going again. I'd have to listen to last year's Decade of Horror. Again, this is why we need to include lists. We're going to do lists this year. We're going to have a list for everybody to pick from. Hang on. I've got it. Or at least I've found a thumbnail that has it. Because I saw the thumbnail, and the thumbnail has the picture in it. I'm going to find it.
The girl with all the gifts?
That's a good movie, but no, not the movie I'm thinking about. But very good. You'll love it. As if you like, that's like the best Last of Us movie.
Okay. So I would definitely watch that.
This is it. The Sadness. Have you watched The Sadness?
Oh, I have not. That's the one I was looking for. You told me about.
Watch that. If you like Train to Busan, that would be Donnie's pick for something like that. If you're in a Train to Busan mood, give The Sadness a try. And you might like The Sadness more because it's a bit more, it ratchets it up. It's a bit more turned up to 11 than Train to Busan. And it's a bit also, it's not, story's not nearly as good. It's not nearly as tight. That's the thing. Train to Busan's a great movie because it's claustrophobic. It's a bit more actiony and more demented, but it's good.
Okay, so
and I think you might like that. With the other movies you've told me you liked, it's like a demented Train to Busan. That's exactly what that movie is.
Okay. The Girl with All the Gifts is on Hulu, on Tubi, so I can watch that one easily.
Yeah, anybody that likes The Last of Us would love that movie.
The Sadness.
Or if you like Logan, it's like that.
I love Logan.
It's like that. You'll love it.
Okay, The Sadness is on Prime. Let me see if it's free.
We're just doing Decade of Horror now. Like we're just talking about movies.
Yeah.
That wasn't the intent of doing this. We were just speaking of horror movies, Chris says, did you talk about the Supergiant Games rumored next game? I didn't talk about it, but I did post about it in our rumors. Have you seen this?
No, Delvin? I have not.
They're apparently making a Scream game with ghosts. Oh! Yeah. It's a super massive, right, Chris? He said not super. Yeah, super massive. Yeah. I knew what you meant. Sorry, I was reading what you said, but I knew what you meant. Yeah, apparently Supermassive is making a Scream game.
Until Dawn people.
Right. Until Dawn, but with Scream. But Ghostface.
That sounds awesome.
I've lost all faith. I want to love it. I want to be there with you in this excitement. I do. But you know how I feel about them.
Yes. This is the one that might turn around for you.
Like the Corey hurt me so much.
I feel like a Scream game where you can kill everyone could be great.
So I think if they do a Scream game, I think you're a person who has to survive Ghostface, but also try to figure out who Ghostface is.
Yeah,
and maybe
maybe
your decisions like determine who it's going to be.
Yes.
I think that's kind of what they would probably do.
It's going to be a Supermassive game where you make choices, and based on the choices, you find out who the killer is, or you can end up being the killer probably.
Yeah.
Based on your decisions.
But I hated the Corey. And I'm sorry that Rebecca thinks I'm being a hater. I don't think you think I'm being a hater. Like I legitimately don't. Yeah, it's not. I wanted to love the game. If there was anything redeemable about it, I think I would tell you. I just did not like it at all.
I like the Quarry, but everybody's complaints about it are very, very valid. Like extremely valid.
Such a letdown. I remember I would have bought a special edition. They could have got me for like $150 and I would have been just so upset over it after playing the game, but they could have got me. They could have got me for everything. I was all in on the idea, the game, like all in. And now I would be hesitant to buy something.
I like the Devil in Me way more than I like the Quarry. The Devil in Me is a way better game.
Yeah. I just feel like
both came out the same year.
I feel like Until Dawn was like a magical time. It was novel. It was new. And it was like, once I did it, I was like, this is great. But once they kept going back to it, and the Corey still feels like that. Like it feels like the game hasn't really, like, why are the mechanics so like shoddy and the controls like the way, like the game needs to grow up. Like they need to, I don't know, redo an engine. I'm not sure exactly what, but it's like the game still plays like Until Dawn played. You know,
Well,
that was
I get
damn
why
10
it's like
years
that.
ago.
It's because they keep putting out these games in a quick clip. These games come out like quickly, like the Quarry
Yeah,
came out
every
quickly.
other
You
year.
have Man of Medan. You have
Yeah.
one every no, and every other
They
year,
got
every
bugs
year,
and
this one come
glitches
out.
and weird facial
Like, every year.
animations.
That's hard.
It's like,
Like the
get it together,
Dark Pictures
guys.
Anthology games come out every year. Like
Yeah,
Madden.
it's not like Call of Duty. It's not
Yeah.
good every year. It comes out usually with a lot of
it's-
problems every year.
Yeah, and that's the problem. They keep putting these out every year, and they probably need to take a couple of years off of doing it. And then, like I said, the year when the Quarry came out, it was two of them. Like, oh, here's the Quarry, and here's the Devil in Me. And one of them was really good, and one of them was mid.
Yeah. Chris says it would be cool if you could play multiplayer and one of you plays as the killer and tries to get away. So it's like Among Us, but Ghostface.
That could be cool. It ain't gonna be that though.
I mean, I think that
That's
Among
not-
Us
that's not-
idea would be great for Scream. But whenever I hear like licensed, now it is good that it's super massive and not somebody else. But when I hear licensed horror game now, I just keep thinking about the next Dead by Daylight clone.
When he says good, it's not somebody else. I know exactly who he's talking about. He's talking about the Friday the 13th creators. The game creators. That's exactly who he meant.
Or
Like,
the
he's
Texas
stop
Chainsaw
making
creators,
these
or the
type of
Evil
games.
Dead creators, or the
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. Which I 100% agree with. Like, come on, give me a story-based game with this.
Yeah, like that. If anything, I would say that about Superman. If they're making a Ghostface game, hopefully it's like a legit story that like lives up to the IP, and it's not some phoned in
Yes.
shit. Like they got to do a lot better than the Quarry, man.
That's what I want.
Quarry sucked.
And I think they will. I think this is what they wanted. This is what they was coming into the game for. They wanted this license. Not
They needed
necessarily
a
this
license
license,
that they
but
could-
this type of.
Yeah, I
They
think
can
you
sink
might
their
be
teeth
right
into
there.
it.
They kept cracking at it, trying to maybe tempt somebody into giving them a chance.
Yeah, you could tell by the games they're making. They're like, oh, this could have been a Friday the 13th game, or this could have been something like that. So this could have been a Saw game.
Yeah,
And I feel like this is Scream. So here you go. Take Scream.
it'd be fun. It'd be fun. Anyway,
I dig it.
this Friday night, we will record Decade of Horror. We'll be live. You can watch it with us live if you'd like. And if not, by the time the clock strikes on October, you will have hours of horror movie podcasting from us with our favorite movies of the year that we recommend that you give a try. Give them a try. If you're looking for some recommendations, what should I watch? Well, Decade of Horror is the show for that. You can listen and find something you think you would be into. Yeah, hope you like it.
There you go. You guys got a deluxe episode of PSVG this week.
Yeah.
3.5 hours.
NBA
And you
basketball.
get Decade of Horror.
And Jim Ryan's done. That's what we were just winning tonight. We were eating good. Fuck
Winning
Jim
time.
Ryan. I don't care what Dev
Fuck him.
says.
He's the worst.
It's Call of Duty remarks alone. He sucked. Nobody can say they liked him. You can say he's successful all you want. I don't
No
get.
one liked
I could care less about how much money Super Corporation's making.
Yeah.
I didn't
Who gives a
like
fuck
him.
about his success.
Mr. Fellow Gamers, I often get a chance to talk to game fans. The fuck out of here. Do they tell you how much you suck? Because that's what I would tell you. Sean says Game of the Year Podcast Edition. But I'll sign us off.
Good name.
We no longer live under the tyranny of lying, crying, motherfucking Jim Ryan. And that is good news, ladies and gentlemen. So you take that good news in with the rest of your week. Come check us out in Decade of Horror on Friday. Until then, play some fucking video games.